Douluo, the sacred dragon staff. Hey, fanfic family. So glad to see you here again to continue this incredible adventure. As always, kindly remember, this story is 100% fiction, so don't go looking for dimensional portals in your closet. All rights to this fantastic novel belong to the original author. We're just your humble narrators of epic tales. Are you enjoying the fanfic? Show it by subscribing to our YouTube channel and dropping us a like. And if you're impatient for more exclusive content, our Patreon is your happy place. Chapter 201 Xiandao Team 2, Arrangement. Surrounding the vast, open square were countless cheering and shouting spectators. Directly in front of the central venue stood a podium with a golden backdrop. Behind the podium lay the renovated VIP area. The expansive venue, over 150 meters in diameter, had already formed a neat formation in the center. Each school was introduced by a dedicated MC from the podium. The Shrek Academy team. This is a rising star high-level spirit master academy, dedicated to cultivating monsters. Li Yusong, the continent's leading young spirit master, hails from this academy. He once wreaked havoc in the Star Luo Empire, defeating several soul sages and even drawing with a soul Douluo as a soul emperor. He's truly formidable. Furthermore, Li Yusong is only 19 years old, making him eligible to compete. It's a shame he won't be participating, as that would be too much of a bully. Now he's the academy leader. Let's wait and see what kind of performance he'll bring to the team he leads. Li Yusong saw nothing wrong with the MC's words, they were all his own achievements. He'd thought I was a soul emperor, but he's only 1.5 levels away from title Douluo now. The MC at the VIP table announced, "Now, please welcome His Majesty the Emperor of the Heaven Dao Empire to declare the tournament open." Seated in the center of the first row of the VIP seats, His Majesty, clad in a crimson gold robe, slowly rose to thunderous applause. He raised his right hand and waved gently toward the audience and the participating spirit masters below. The applause quickly died down, and the vast square fell silent. A deep, resonant voice echoed throughout the venue via amplified spirit guides. "I, Emperor Yi of the Heaven Dao Empire, on behalf of the Heaven Dao Empire and the organizers of this competition, declare that the Pan-Continental Advanced Spirit Master Academy Elite Competition is now open." The applause roared again, and cheers echoed. When the applause died down again, the Emperor continued, "Here, I hope that all the Spirit Masters participating in this competition will fully demonstrate their strengths and achieve excellent results. You are all the pride of the Heaven Dao Empire. Show your brilliance for the glory of the Empire." The applause rang out for the third time, and this time, the eyes of the Spirit Masters in the center of the competition venue shone with a fiery brilliance. For them, this competition was the ultimate stage to showcase their true selves. The Emperor returned to his seat, and the MC's voice rang out again, "Now, please welcome the Seven Treasures Glazed Tile Sect Master, Mr. Ning Fengzi, to deliver a speech for this competition." The speech is concluded. The MC announced. First round of the preliminaries, Kenghu Academy vs Zixing Academy. First round of the preliminaries, Waklan Academy vs Flame Brilliance Academy. First round of the preliminaries, Xiandao Royal Academy vs Shrek Academy. Well, just like the original timeline, it's Xiandao Team 2 again. Li Yusong found it very interesting to see what Team 2 would have against the All-Soul Master Shrek team. The deputy team leader of Xiandao Team 2 was furious. What kind of luck was this? He thought Team 1 might have this luck, but Team 2 had no chance. But he didn't have to worry, he wasn't the team leader anymore. The team leader was a man called Master. He was a great spirit master, yet he was the team leader? And here, Team 2's lineup was Tang Sen, Tai Long, Shimo, Oslo, Yu Feng, and Ru Sai. It was the regular team lineup, and for some reason, this team leader, Master, had dragged everyone from Team 1 to Team 2, claiming he'd show everyone the strength of Xiandao Royal Academy. Haha, just don't embarrass yourself. Meanwhile, Yu Zaigang was overjoyed. The opponent he most wanted to defeat had arrived. If his team could defeat the Shrek team, they would achieve fame. He was deeply jealous of Shrek Academy's reputation, and that of Li Yusong. How could he be the continent's top young spirit master, while he was merely a fame-seeker? He refused to accept, he was jealous. He felt that all the honors should be his. He was the true master, the powerful one, possessing wisdom. The Xiandao royal team was formidable. Tang San was now level 43, and he had received an external spirit bone with his fourth spirit ring, making him even more powerful. The Li clan initially pursued them, but later discovered that a flood had destroyed the Dragon King Temple. Tai Long, originally a substitute for the Shrek team, joined the Shyandao royal team directly. Tai Long recognized Tang San as his young master. At level 41, the other members were all Soul Zhuang powerhouses, with only the support type Ru Xie being a Soul Lord. This lineup was bound to achieve excellent results. Yu Gang knew that the Shrek Academy team was very strong. But they won't be going all out in the first match. This is a great opportunity to ride on Shrek Academy's reputation and rise to the top. Yu Gang grew increasingly excited as she thought about it, her body beginning to tremble. Elsewhere, Li Luochen had already spotted the members of Shyandao Team 2 and smiled. As expected, this was going to be even more interesting. Wang Yuan, you don't have to play in this match. Oscar, you'll replace Wang Yuan, Li Luochen gave the team members a direct instruction. Huh? Why, Brother Chen? Director Li, aren't Shyandao Team 2 made up of those aristocratic children? Don't they have much talent? Oscar was a little puzzled, but he still walked into the team. Haha, the opposing team is led by Yu Gang, and Tang San is captain. I'm asking you to go because you know Tang San's methods. He can use poison, and you can detoxify. I'm asking you to go as a safeguard. This time, you'll have to finish the fight in half a minute, and Tang San will definitely win by stepping on him. By the way, Yang Wu, Niu Dun, this Tang San is Tang Hao's son. You can avenge your family's vengeance, and don't worry about Tang Hao coming after you. He's already been killed. Li Luochen's words stunned everyone present. What? Director Li, you actually killed that Clear Sky Douluo? Yu Xiangxin stood up. How powerful was the Clear Sky Douluo? His great-grandfather, Yu Yuanzhen, couldn't possibly defeat him. He was actually killed by Director Li. Yes. Thank you, Director Li. Niu Dun and Yang Wu trembled with excitement. Finally, a chance to avenge the damned Clear Sky sect. And you all attack with all your might. Jiangzhu, you heal the enemy directly. I'm afraid you'll kill them, Li Luochen announced. The latest novel is being released on the 69th Book Forum. The MC at the center announced. Shyandao Royal Team vs Shrek Academy Team, both parties enter. Shyandao Team 2 features the main players, arranged by Yu Gang. Based on his wisdom and perspective, he knew the Shrek Academy team wouldn't be the main lineup, so his chances of victory were high. Therefore, he was certain of victory. On Shyandao Team 2, Tang San stood in the center position. At the front were Tai Long and the Shuangxi brothers. Flanking Tang San were Yu Feng and Oslo, and at the back was Ruai Panrusidai. Meanwhile, the Shrek Academy team featured Oscar, Yu Xiangxin, Daimyu Bei, Yang Wu, Niu Dun, Jing Ling, and Jiangzhu. The lineup was Oscar at the front and center, with Daimyu Bei and Yu Xiangxin flanking Oscar. Jing Ling and Yang Wu stood on either side of the center, Jiangzhu at the rear, and Niu Dun guarding the soul support class. This was, of course, a covert defense. If anyone dared to attack Jiangzhu, Blue Lightning Dragon would issue a warning. Both teams' spirit rings activated. Tiandao Team 2's were primarily 2 yellow and 2 purple, just like Rusiai's 2 yellow and 1 purple. The slight difference was that Tang San's 4th spirit ring was darker than the others. Meanwhile, the Shrek Academy team, with the exception of Oscar, all had 2 yellow and 2 purple. Their 4th spirit rings were even darker than Tang San's. Oscar was the most surprising. Li Luochen had arranged for him to release his spirit rings last, so that he would be at peak performance. Yellow, purple, 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 black, black. 5 spirit rings appeared on Oscar's body, startling everyone present. Emperor Ziyi was astonished. 1,000 years for the 2nd spirit ring? 9,000 years for the 4th. What a genius. He must be only about 15. He's actually reached the Soul King level. Shrek Academy is truly formidable. They've already produced Li Luochen, and now there's Oscar. Ning Fengzi, on the other hand, was delighted. He already knew his daughter was related to him. Family rule required that direct disciples marry combat spirit masters. He knew Oscar was a food type, his daughter had told him about it. But his combat power was exceptional. He was also excited to see how powerful his son-in-law would be. Platinum Bishop Salas frowned, then remembered that this was Elder Li's man. His frown relaxed, and he closed his eyes to rest. They were his own people, so there was no need to worry. The Shrek Academy team belonged to Elder Li, honorary elder of the Spirit Hall. Who was Elder Li? Husband of the saint, son-in-law of the Pope, he had serious nepotism. At any rate, a win would be far better than the Heaven Dou royal team. The only person with a heavy expression was Gang. He clenched his fists and looked at the Shrek team with resentment. How could he win against one Soul King and 6 Soul Masters? Chapter 202, Instant Kill. In the Soul Fighting Arena, the Shrek Academy team's strength had already astonished everyone. Their reactions were all, could it be that Shrek Academy was planning an all-out sweep? Or did they lack reserves? But every team in the Advanced Spirit Master Elite competition had reserves, so could they possibly have so many? Go, Oscar shouted. The first 5 members of the Shrek Academy team began charging forward. First spirit skill, Entanglement. Tang San reacted quickly and immediately activated the blue-silver grass's first spirit skill, Entanglement. As a control type, he needed to control the enemy and give his teammates a chance. Yang Wu. I'll take care of these blue-silver grass. You charge in and take out their front row, Oscar said. Okay, 5th spirit skill, Phoenix Meteor Shower. Oscar suddenly transformed into a Supreme Fire Phoenix Martial Spirit, bombarding the blue-silver grass. Oscar's sudden transformation into a Supreme Fire Phoenix Martial Spirit surprised everyone present. Tang San and Yu Gang looked as if they had seen a ghost. Li Luchen, standing outside the arena, smiled. A mere blue-silver grass? You can't be a Phoenix Flame. Upon contact with a Phoenix Meteor Shower, the blue-silver grass was incinerated, rendering it useless. 4th soul skill, White Tiger Meteor Shower. Dai Mubei had been emoting, but now it was a match, and he had to pull himself together. While losing to Zhu Xiuqing was upsetting, at least a victory over Davis would keep him alive. He and Zhu Xiuqing had no real connection, so he just had to figure it out. But now he needed to prepare for the match. The White Tiger and Phoenix Meteor Showers bombarded the Xiandao royal team. The brothers Shimo and Shimo raised their basalt shields, trying to block them, but they could only block their frontal impact. The meteor shower's range was too great, and Oslo and Yufeng were hit. Tang San escaped with the help of the Purple Demon Eye and Ghost Shadow. Hit by the meteor shower, Oslo and Yufeng were eliminated before they could react, as Jingling approached. Li Luchen also put a lot of effort into Jingling's training. Although not as much as he did with Zhu Xiuqing, Jingling also understood the true meaning of agile attack, which was to finish off the opponent. Jingling eliminated 2 opponents without much effort. He then concealed his body and attacked the Ruai Plate. Ruai Plate, Defense Ring, Explode. Ru Xiai was just about to start assisting Shimo and Shimo, but was defeated by Jingling. Not everyone can be a support-type Soul Master like the Shrek team. Jingling's record +3. On the front battlefield, Shimo and Shimo were still struggling. Tai Long was about to rush to help but was blocked by Yang Wu. Traitor. Haoshan Sect's lackey, Yang Wu cursed Tai Long. The soul-breaking spear in his hand immediately radiated a powerful force. 2nd soul skill, Penetrate. Yang Wu shot Tai Long directly through, but Yang Wu still showed mercy and stabbed him in the left chest, without damaging the root. 3rd soul skill, Explode. The spear tip suddenly radiated a layer of black light, increasing its attack power to an even more terrifying level. Upon striking anything, the spirit power unleashed a terrifying explosion, imbuing the spear with even greater destructive power. Yang Wu immediately eliminated Tai Long. As Tai Long flew out of the fighting arena, a healing light showered upon him. 4th spirit skill, Phoenix Roaring Sky Strike. 4th spirit skill, Blue Lightning Dragon Speed. A crimson phoenix and a bluish-purple dragon charged at Shimo's millstone defenses. 3rd spirit skill, Blue-Silver Prison. Tang San activated the Blue-Silver Prison to protect his teammates, but it shattered upon contact, sending Tang San reeling. Shimo and Shimo were instantly shattered by the 2 strongest 4th spirit skills, sending them flying out of the fighting arena. Only Tang San remained. Tang San's eyes flashed purple, his anger flaring. Such a crushing defeat in just the first match. With his hand on the 24 bridges, Oscar was the first to realize why Li Luchen had sent him into battle. It was because he knew Tang San's ruthless tactics. Furthermore, Oscar possessed a head spirit bone, possessing a powerful mental force, giving him superior insight. Everyone retreat. Tang San is about to use a weapon outside the rules, Oscar shouted, stunning the team members for a moment. But their instinct to obey orders forced them to retreat immediately. Tang San had already drawn his hidden weapon and was about to throw it when he was spotted. He glared at Oscar, thinking to himself, "You're courting death?" As Tang San hesitated, he was struck in the cheek by an attack. It was Oscar's head spirit bone ability, Mirror Clone. Oscar had already used it from the beginning, and the meteor shower explosion was intended to conceal the clone's movements. While Tang San cursed Oscar silently, his attention was focused on him, his insight diminished significantly, and his anger overwhelmed him. The burning sensation of Oscar's punch to the cheek reminded Tang San of a previous life, when a Tang sect inner disciple had also struck him in the same way. Phoenix Fist. Oscar's phoenix claws condensed into fists and smashed directly into Tang San's face, sending him flying. The entire battle lasted less than half a minute, and the Heaven Dao royal team was already disintegrated. As for why? It was our master's fault. Such intense training, without proper medicinal baths and rest. Their bodies were already riddled with wounds. Only Tang San, possessing the mysterious heavenly art, hadn't taken the time to recover, so they had some minor injuries, but not many. The other team members were in a terrible state, suffering internal injuries. They looked vigorous, but their bodies were riddled with the wounds, slowing their reflexes. Even if they did react, their bodies couldn't defend themselves. Referee. Referee. I want to complain. They're not competing, they're killing. They violated the rules. I demand they be declared the loser, Yu Zhigang said, seething with anger. Yu Zhigang was like that. He allowed himself to do what he wanted to others, but not what he wanted to do to himself. Oh, you useless bastard, Oscar's voice rang out directly. Are they dead? Our auxiliary spirit master's ability is healing. She activated her martial spirit from the very beginning, releasing the healing ability. The latest novel is first released on the 69th book bar. This healing ability is enough to spread across the competition arena. It's not for healing us, but for them. If we really wanted to kill someone, would we heal our opponents? It seems that they don't need our healing. Senior Sister Jiangzhu, stop. That guy across from us is ungrateful, has low cultivation, and is short-sighted. He's not worth wasting your spirit power on. Oscar's voice was very harsh. Of course it only pierced Yu Zhiagang's ears. You uneducated, who said that the students of my Shrek Academy are uneducated? Flanders shouted. He suddenly appeared in the soul fighting arena, his soul rings pulsing, 2 yellow, 2 purple, 4 black, and 1 red. He was a titled Douluo with 9 rings, the 9th 100,000-year-old. Titled Douluo, a 100,000-year-old soul ring. The Shrek Academy's dean is actually the supremely powerful titled Douluo. Emperor Ziyu was stunned. Shrek Academy was so incredibly powerful, so hidden. Ningfengzi knew Flanders had been a high-level soul Douluo for a while, and now that he had broken through, it made sense for Douluo to hunt a 100,000-year-old soul beast for him. Ningfengzi began to consider whether to prepare a 100,000-year soul ring for Rongrong when she became a titled Douluo. Yu Zhiagang's face paled. Impossible. Impossible. You can't become a titled Douluo with your talent. You must have cultivated the secrets of a fallen soul master. Everyone in your academy is a fallen soul master. Yu Zhiagang's words were repulsive. A great soul master actually dared to question a titled Douluo? Who gave him the courage? Haha, Bishop Salas should know whether I am a fallen soul master or not. The Spirit Hall has been fighting against fallen soul masters for so many years, so he should have this kind of vision, Flanders sneered. Saris's aged voice rang out, there are no fallen spirit masters at Shrek Academy, nor is Dean Flender. We at Spirit Hall can guarantee that fallen spirit masters cultivate by brutally slaughtering others to improve themselves. Fallen spirit masters haven't appeared in a long time. The last one was eradicated by the previous pope, who happened to save the young pope during that time. Don't believe what Yu Zhiagang says. His theories are plagiarized from those of Spirit Hall ancestors, and he possesses no real talent or knowledge. Some time ago, he allowed his nephew to bypass his level to absorb a 10,000-year spirit ring. Unaware of the soul-vibrating nature of 10,000-year spirit rings, he caused his nephew, Yu Xianheng, to become demented and his spirit shattered. This led to the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus clan's patriarch, Yu Yuanzhen, being driven to death by anger, and the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus clan was plunged into civil strife. Such a person is unworthy of your trust. Platinum Bishop Saris's words were authoritative, and Emperor Zuyu's face darkened with rage. He had thought he was a master, but turned out to be a clown? Impossible, impossible. How could my father, Yusong was about to faint to escape the disaster. Flanders cut off Yusong's leg with one finger, and Yusong's leg was broken directly. Yusong hugged his leg and screamed in pain. No one in the audience had pity on Yusong, because he was unworthy. He stole the knowledge of his ancestors and dared to question the title Douluo. He was asking for his life. He even angered his father to death. Killed his extremely talented nephew. Caused civil strife in the family. He's really a waste. And a jinx. Why didn't Flanders kill Yusong? It wasn't because he still had feelings for Yusong. Those feelings disappeared as early as when he and Liu Erlong got together. He just wanted to see the ugly appearance of this clown. Didn't he want to be successful? I will make you despised by everyone. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 203 Everyone is calling for the death of Yudashi. P.S. Some people have a questions about Tang San's spirit abilities. Are you so forgetful after reading a book? In this book, Tang San's third spirit ring is a crypt spider, so naturally it's a blue-silver prison. The fourth spirit ring becomes a spiderweb binding. Commenters, please be more careful, okay? Love you. The main force of the Shyandao royal team at the Shyandao Grand Seoul Arena headquarters was so easily defeated by Shrek Academy. Emperor Zhu Yi's face darkened, but then he thought about how Shrek Academy seemed to be one of his own, having been granted land and nobility by him personally, so he sighed slowly. He couldn't cause trouble for Shrek Academy. After all, the royal honorary honor Douluo was the honorary dean of that academy, and their current dean, Flender, was also a title Douluo, a supreme title Douluo with a 100,000-year spirit ring. Shrek Academy was not something the Shyandao royal family could easily mess with. But that didn't mean Emperor Zhu Yi wouldn't vent his anger. He already knew who he would vent it on. The poison has now penetrated the bones of Emperor Zhu Yi, leaving him physically weak, yet it's hard to tell. Others believe he's regained his youth. A master of poison might be able to diagnose that Emperor Zhu Yi only has about 2 years left to live, and most of the Heavendao Empire has already fallen into Jin Ringsu's hands. Emperor Zhu Yi's control is likely limited to Heavendao City and a few surrounding cities. Yusong's reputation has been completely shattered, like a rat crossing the street, a target of public scrutiny. After all, such a person, relying on his family background to plagiarize the knowledge of Spirit Hall ancestors and claim it for himself, is that something a normal person could do? Furthermore, Yusong has directly offended a title Douluo. Did they think he was the young master of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex clan? Times have changed, and the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex clan's old dragon is gone. Can he still hold on to the title of Grandmaster? He's offended many over the years, like the deputy leader of Heavendao Team 2, a Soul Emperor-level powerhouse who has long wanted to smite Yusong. All that happened later. In one match, the Shrek team triumphed. Li Luochen smiled faintly before leading the Shrek team away. Shrek Academy's morale was high. And Shrek Academy's reputation had spread. Especially when Flanders released his spirit ring, it was so impressive to see a title Douluo Dean so protective of his protege. And some of the female spirit masters, who were attracted to older men, admired Flanders immensely. With Shrek Academy's resounding victory in their first match, morale among the students was high. Since Flanders was a title Douluo, Emperor Zhu Yi invited Flanders to take the seat for the next spirit duel. Flanders wasn't happy, but as a member of the Heavendao Empire, he at least gave the Emperor some respect. In fact, Flanders preferred to cradling his daughter in his wife's arms. That was the more enjoyable way to watch the match. Didn't you see Li Luochen lying in the arms of Du Guyan and Jin Ringsu? Don't be so cozy. The next match was between Xiangjia Academy and Shrek Academy. Our opponent this time is the Elephant Armor Academy. Their spirit, the Diamond Mammoth, is a powerful strength defense spirit, a top-tier beast spirit. We need a strong attacking element, and we'll need Xiao Ao's Flying Swift Intestine. Rongrong will also be playing this time. Rongrong will use the Swift Intestine to soar through the sky and amplify everyone's power. Kinming watched as the Shrek team members analyzed the Elephant Armor Academy's strengths and weaknesses. Next match, Oscar, Yu Xiangxin, Daimyu Bei, Niu Dun, Yang Wu, Zhu Zhuking, and Ning Rongrong, the players Kinming named all stood up. The regulars were now on the field. Everyone in Xiangjia Academy is at the Soul Master level. The strongest one, Hu Yanli, has a soul power of level 43. But because of their strong defense, you don't have to worry about anything when you attack them. Xiangxin, Mu Bei, Niu Dun, and Yang Wu, just go all out, and wrong, you just assist. Don't use the mirror sausage if you can. Xiaoyao, you should still use Hongjin's Fire Phoenix Martial Soul this time, so that people will mistakenly think that your soul skill is to transform into a Fire Phoenix. Xiaoyao, you just guard next to Rongrong and use Phoenix Meteor Shower and Phoenix Fire Line to consume them from a distance. Xiuqing, your task this time is to knock away the enemies hit by our frontline 4th soul skill. Others think that your agility attack system is useless in this kind of battle. But Xiaoqing is particularly optimistic about you. He said that your strength is actually above Xiangxin. This time it depends on you. Zhu Xiuqing's face showed a hint of joy at this time. She was finally recognized by Li Luqian, and she was very excited. Dai Mubei glanced at Zhu Xiuqing and saw a hint of happiness on her cold face. He felt very depressed inside, as it seemed that Xiuqing would not be able to please her. He had no intention of using despicable means to attack Zhu Xiuqing. What if Zhu Xiuqing was having an affair with Li Luqian? He had already offended Li Luqian once and did not want to offend him a second time. Besides, he knew Zhu Xiuqing's character. Apart from her childlike face and big breasts, she had a foul figure and could not even perform her martial soul fusion technique. Dai Mubei could find someone better in Xiandao City. If all else failed, he could even buy Catwoman at the Xiandao auction house, which would satisfy his thirst. Dai Mubei now only hoped to defeat Davis in the finals so that he would have the right to live. Li Luqian held the 2 beautiful women in his arms and watched Qin Ming's tactical instructions. Li Luqian was not good at knowing tactics. Every profession has its own specializations, and he had his flaws. He did not like layman commanding experts. Li Luqian was reassured that Qin Ming had led the Shrek team to victory. Furthermore, Qin Ming was very close to reaching level 79 and would likely soon reach Soul Douluo. Meanwhile, Yu Xiaogang, now a cripple and with a tarnished reputation, could no longer survive at the Xiandao Royal Academy. Even Tang San wouldn't let him approach him, and even his attempts to take Tang San away were impossible. Tang San was now the core of the Xiandao Royal team and a crucial control system, so Emperor Ziyu wouldn't let him go. The latest novel is available on the 69th book forum. Yu Xiaogang couldn't take Tang San away. He tried to force his way in by relying on his reputation, but was brutally beaten and driven out of the Xiandao Royal Academy. After finally catching his breath, Yu Xiaogang walked through the streets of Xiandao City, only to be assaulted again. Not only was he beaten, but his dignity as a man was also shattered by kicks. Yu Xiaogang was in excruciating pain, lashing out at him with harsh words, only to be beaten even harder. A fame-seeker like FW. If he didn't rely on his family, how could he have become a grandmaster? Yeah, I heard from others that FW was expelled from his family. Even his own family doesn't want him. I don't know what he's talking about. I heard that the Thunder Douluo lineage was wiped out by the other elders during the internal strife within the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family. Aside from FW, the Thunder Douluo are extinct, is that so? Ho ha, well done. FW is truly a jinx. He even killed his own nephew. Jinx, although Yu Xiaogang had been beaten, his resistance was high due to the frequent beatings, so he didn't faint. He heard that his lineage had been completely wiped out, and he was in great pain. After the pain, his body underwent a subtle transformation. Luo Sanpao's own light attribute began to shift towards darkness, and Yu Xiaogang's eyes turned red. He swore revenge. He would train Tang San well and let his disciples avenge him. Who could he turn to now? Clear Sky Douluo? But he couldn't find him. Oh, Clear Sky Douluo had said that if he couldn't find him, he could take his token and go to the Clear Sky sect to find his elder brother, Tang Xiao. Tell Tang Xiao that Tang San was his and Ayin's son, and that he would definitely protect him. After being ravaged, Yu Xiaogang hid in a corner until he could move again, then donned a black robe and fled Xiandao City. Yu Xiaogang took Tang Hao's token and went to the Clear Sky sect to find Xiaotian Douluo. However, since he was only a great spirit master, the journey would be long, and the Clear Sky sect's territory was quite high, so it would take some time. Yu Xiaogang's search for the Clear Sky sect was a coincidence, and Tang Hao didn't know why he gave the token to Yu Xiaogang. It was interesting that even if Tang Hao died, he could still provide a way out for Tang San. However, Yu Xiaogang's trip to the Clear Sky sect, prompting Tang Xiao to leave the sect, accelerated the Clear Sky sect's demise. The Clear Sky sect's demise was inevitable, but Yu Xiaogang's actions had only hastened it. Chapter 204 Preliminary Round. Ever since defeating the Heaven Dao Royal team, Shrek Academy has been on a lightning-fast winning streak. In their second match against the Elephant Armor Academy, Li Luochen suggested a cleaver team crushing them. It was a battle of pure melee, a true battle of true men. The Shrek team members generally possessed high soul power levels, with martial spirits comparable to, or even stronger than, the Diamond Mammoth. For example, the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex. The Elephant Armor Academy's sturdy, flesh-like form was indeed a wall of flesh, but Yu Xiangxin's dragon claws could easily pierce its defense. The Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family's secret dragon transformation technique did have merit. This time, the Elephant Armor Academy fielded only 3 soul masters, clearly unwilling to engage in a major conflict with Shrek Academy. Even Xiangxiang Huyan's Hunbaodan addressed Flanders as Your Majesty upon seeing him. Even the veteran titled Douluo, Bone Douluo, treated Flanders as a peer. After all, as a titled Douluo with a 100,000-year spirit ring, Bone Douluo felt he couldn't defeat him. Furthermore, Flanders was a flying attribute titled Douluo, making him completely untouchable. Ever since Xinian saw Flander unleash his spirit ring that day, he'd been so frightened he'd nearly run away. No wonder he couldn't fathom Flander's strength and felt a vague sense of fear. Xinian thought to himself, we're of the same generation, how come you've already become a titled Douluo? This doesn't even have a spirit, there's no spirit to be had. Xinian would stay away from the Shrek team after that, fearing Flander would catch him and kill him. This time, thanks to Li Luochen's presence, Saras didn't operate in secret against Shrek Academy. Instead, he visited Li Luochen several times. After all, this was the only time he could curry favor with the elders. After defeating Elephant Armor Academy, the Shrek Academy team's opponents weren't very strong. They either surrendered or just went through the motions. What could a team above Soul Master level really do against Shrek? The Shrek team's winning streak continued until they faced Blazing Fire Academy, where everyone possessed fire attributes, and their tempers were fierce and stubborn. Captain Ho Washuang and Vice Captain Ho Wu immediately deployed their strongest lineup to meet the enemy. Ma Hongjin had been restless for this match and was ready to play. Qin Ming initially disagreed, arguing that Ma Hongjin should be the trump card. Li Luochen then retorted, Senior Qin, Hongjin's Soul Emperor cultivation is nothing to fear from this average Soul Master team. His top-grade Fire Phoenix spirit is perfect for dealing with any disobedience. Our only challenge is the Spirit Hall Academy team, so let Hongjin have some fun, he's been pent up for a while, Qin Ming agreed. Soul Emperor cultivation was already a significant advantage, so he went ahead with his strongest lineup against Blazing Academy, Ma Hongjin, Oscar, Yu Xiangxin, Niu Dun, Yang Wu, Zhu Zhuqing, and Ning Rongrong. All were above level 47, as a sign of respect. At the start of the match, Ma Hongjin was the first to release his spirit rings. Yellow, purple, purple, black, 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 6 Soul Emperor rings. What a unique configuration. It was beyond the imagination of any Soul Master. Although Oscar had also absorbed beyond his limit, his second spirit ring had appeared 1,000 years earlier. Just like Li Luochen had, so everyone was fine with it. Now, Ma Hongjin's 4th spirit ring is 10,000 years old? How did he do it? It's beyond anyone's imagination. If a certain master were here, he'd definitely exclaim, it must be the secret technique of an evil spirit master, it must be. In the VIP seats, Your Majesty Feng Ying, your student is truly exceptional. He's reached the level of Soul Emperor at such a young age, and he absorbed his spirit rings this way? I wonder what the secret is, Emperor Ziyi said with a smile, trying to be humble in front of a titled Douluo. Ning Fengzi also pricked up his ears. Only Salas was asleep. As a platinum bishop, Salas was qualified to know the knowledge of transcendental spirit ring absorption. Li Luochen had already handed over this knowledge to the Pope. Li Luochen had no choice but to hand it over in his early years, fearing Bibi Dong would drive him crazy. However, even with a method for transcendental spirit ring absorption, achieving a 1,000-year-old second spirit ring is easier, but a 10,000-year-old 4th spirit ring is still extremely difficult. However, Increasing the age of a spirit ring by hundreds of years is already a significant achievement. Haha, these methods were independently developed by Director Li Yusong of our academy. He constantly experiments on himself, and he's personally practiced the theory of superlimit absorption of spirit rings. Ma Hongjin and Oscar are Li Yusong's most prized students, and Director Li Yusong has invested a significant amount of resources in them. As the dean, I simply support him. I don't know anything else. Flanders, a seasoned veteran, was a master of nonsense. After much discussion, he only touched upon one point. Li Yusong knew the theory of superlimit absorption of spirit rings, but he was unaware of the rest. Meanwhile, Ning Fengzi was already pondering the matter. His daughter, Ning Rongrong, had been practicing superlimit absorption since her third spirit ring. Her third spirit ring was 2,000 years old, and her fourth was 8,000 years old, surpassing even the most powerful ancestor in the Seven Treasures glazed tile sect's history. Furthermore, Ning Rongrong was now in the Nine Treasures glazed tile pagoda, and was certain to become the first ultimate Douluo of the support system. Ning Fengzi now had a different opinion of Li Yusong. Flanders's words had become readily apparent to him. The latest novel is now available on the 69th Book Forum. The so-called theory of transcending spirit ring absorption is the result of this young spirit master's own research, deliberation, and experimentation. Only such a person, daring to challenge and innovate, truly deserves to be called a master. Look at Yu Gang, none of his theories are his own, they're either plagiarized or completely useless. And yet he dares to call himself a master? Ning Fengzi has no desire to care about this clown. Ever since he successfully broke through to the Soul Douluo realm last year, Swordbone Douluo personally hunted down a 70,000-year-old gem-type spirit beast, the Crystal Giant, for him. Ning Fengzi gained an exceptionally powerful defensive spirit skill, and the Crystal Giant dropped a spirit bone, which Ning Fengzi intends to leave for his daughter. He'll give it to Ning Rongrong as a gift after she wins the Continental Advanced Spirit Master Elite competition. As for the Shrek team's match against Blazing Academy undoubtedly lost. Even with the amplification of sparks like rain, Ho Wu's fusion ring ability, which unleashed a fire dance Shining Sun, was still defeated by Ma Hongjin. Ma Hongjin's sixth soul skill, Phoenix Piercing Cloud Strike, shattered Ho Wu's Shining Sun. Ho Wu's move was truly remarkable. This was the first time Ma Hongjin had seen a soul master, besides Li Yusong, use the fusion ring skill. Fusion ring isn't a skill, but a technique. Li Yusong's understanding of it is the use of mental power to fuse soul rings together. There are two key points to achieving a title Douluo breakthrough: reaching soul power level 90 and reaching the title Douluo level of mental power. Many soul Douluos stuck at level 89 are unable to achieve this breakthrough due to insufficient mental power. Ho Wu's ability to use fusion ring at such a young age suggests she'll definitely become a title Douluo. Ma Hongjin was quite optimistic about Ho Wu, not only because of her hot body but also because of her agreeable temperament. However, he had already met his true love. Otherwise, he might have gone after Ho Wu. After the Shrek Academy team defeated Blazing Academy, they haven't faced any strong teams since. Even Kanghu Academy surrendered directly. Just kidding, a Soul Emperor? Their 7-in-1 fusion technique is probably useless, so just surrender. For some unknown reason, they were supposed to play against Xianshu Academy, but they didn't. Therefore, Shrek Academy successfully passed the preliminaries with a perfect record and entered the promotion round. Chapter 205 Promotional Tournament, Haoshan Sect. After the qualifying rounds, there was a month-long rest period, during which Li Yusong gave them a break to eat and have fun. Honestly, the promotion rounds were no challenge for the Shrek team. Li Yusong was quite relaxed, and the Four Elements Academy was a joke. They were no match for Shrek. Just Yu Xiangxin alone was enough to take down an entire team. Furthermore, Yu Xiangxin was very close to her aunt Liu Erlong, and Flanders was naturally close to her as her uncle. Of course, he doted on his cousin. Therefore, due to this nepotism, Yu Xiangxin was considered Li Yusong's direct descendant. That's right, direct descendant. It couldn't be helped, since he had such a good aunt and uncle. Nepotism can be so strong. Besides working hard with his two wives, Li Yusong was also preparing rewards for the team members. He had quite a few spirit bones on hand. Oscar and Ma Hongjin had already been eliminated. They had enough spirit bones and didn't need spirit bones under 50,000 years to fill up the vacancies. Zhu's Huking does have a suitable right leg bone for the extreme speed chasing wind skill, over 40,000 years old. Yi Lingling can give her the contest prize, the spirit condensation wisdom skill. As for Ning Rongrong, that's easy. Kill Shi Nian, and you'll have the spirit condensation illusion skill. Although only 20,000 years old, it's a gem-type head soul bone. In Ning Rongrong's hands, it's worth no less than a 50,000-year-old head soul bone, unless it's a similar gem-type head soul bone. Li Luochen already prepared the soul bones for Niu Dun and Yang Wu, including an arm bone over 20,000 years old. While Jingling, Wang Yuan, and Jiangzu don't have compatible soul bones, Li Luochen can keep them at the academy and help them hunt two suitable soul beasts. As for Yu Xiangxin, Li Luochen truly has no soul bone suitable for him. After all, it's a shame to use a soul bone under 50,000 years old for the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex martial spirit. Moreover, Yu Xiangxin's talent had already been developed by Li Luochen. If spirit bones of lower age wouldn't be of much use to him, Li Luochen, a man with obsessive-compulsive disorder, would be a good idea. For this direct descendant, second only to Oscar and Ma Hongjin, Li Luochen felt it was acceptable to give him 3 spirit bones of approximately 50,000 years. However, it was still early days. Yu Xiangxin was only a soul master, and he had Yu Luomian behind him. Li Luochen didn't need to worry too much. As for Daimyu Bei, he had absolutely no qualifications. Just keeping him alive was the greatest blessing, but whether he could survive was still uncertain. Honestly, the Shrek team wouldn't need him any more or less, his presence was dispensable. Despite possessing the top-tier white tiger beast spirit, he couldn't even defeat Wang Yuan right now, so what good was he? So, Li Luochen had always been indifferent to him. If he behaved well, he'd be allowed to live, if he didn't, he'd be sent to reincarnation. A month passed quietly. After the preliminaries, the qualifying rounds began. The promotion match was a one-on-one format, making it practically invincible for the Shrek team. Of course, there were still some inconsiderate teams, like Team Barak, who were completely thrashed by Yu Xiangxin's 1-on-7 battles. On the fighting arena, Yu Xiangxin stood before him, the battered captain of Team Barak visibly battered, his body ravaged by thunderbolts and twitching. Yu Xiangxin retracted the thunderbolts, turned away with a stern expression, and left the stage. HMPH. You clown. How dare you insult my uncle? Yu Xiangxin's whisper went unheard. Flanders, looking at his nephew, felt a surge of joy. This meant that Liu Erlong's family approved of his relationship with him. It seemed he would have to treat his nephew well from now on. After defeating Team Barak, it was up to blazing fire, sky water, plants, thunder, and divine wind. Anyway, they'd already faced both the Elemental Academy and Shrek Academy. However, after defeating Schwabinger's Xianshu Academy, a titled Douluo suddenly appeared, standing directly in front of Schwabinger. This titled Douluo was Yu Xianshang. At that moment, his spirit rings began to appear. Yellow, yellow, purple, purple, black, 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 red, red. 9 spirit rings emerged, another supreme title Douluo possessing 100,000-year spirit ring. The unleashing of his soul power, the formidable strength of level 95, trembled in the heart of the VIP audience. Damn! Are these 100,000-year spirit rings mass-produced? How come everyone has one? I'm so damn envious. Bon Douluo could only scoff at himself. In the spirit fighting arena, Schwabinger looked at Yu Xianshang with a look of fear, but still summoned the courage to ask. Senior, what's the matter with you stopping us sisters? Yu Xianshang looked at Schwabinger with a smile on his face. Girl, your name is Schwabinger, right? Let me introduce myself. My name is Yu Xianshang, titled Wind God. I founded a sect called the Zuinio sect. I see you have the Ice Phoenix spirit, and I'd like to recruit you into the Zuinio sect. Yu Xianshang made his purpose clear. This guy was a free-spirited person. He said he would recruit all the bird spirit masters in the world, and he really did it. Senior, do I need to talk to my mother about this? The latest novel is released on the 69th book bar. Schwabinger was still a little scared, but this powerful person was recruiting her. It's okay, it's okay. I'll personally visit your Xianshu Academy later. Oh, and by the way, Ma Hongjin from Shrek Academy is my disciple. The Shrek Academy's dean, Fengying Douluo, is the grand elder of my Zuinio sect. Joining the Zuinio sect will be your best choice. Even if you need a 100,000-year spirit ring for your 9th spirit ring, I can get it for you. Okay. With that, I'm leaving. As soon as Yu Xiansheng finished speaking, he departed. His speed was so swift that even Bone Douluo didn't notice, and his fear grew even stronger. The interlude in the fighting arena ended. Li Luochen had also asked Yu Xiansheng why he didn't recruit the Zhou family's swan spirit. Yu Xiansheng replied, I recruited one, a little girl named Zhou Ke. She's the only one I like. The rest of the Zhou family are trash, unworthy of my recruitment. These words were very Yu Xiansheng-esque. Elsewhere, Yu Zhiagang, after wandering for a long time outside the Haotian sect, finally found the clan's territory. However, he couldn't ascend. He was too weak to make it. Furthermore, the village at the foot of the mountain was blocked. Who are you? Don't move. The Haotian sect disciples summoned the Haotian hammer and assumed a fighting stance. Yu Zhiagang took out the token Tang Hao had given him and tossed it to the Haotian sect disciple. It is indeed the token from the Haotian sect's leader. Please wait here while I summon the leader, but whether he comes or not is up to him, the Haotian sect disciple said, and then left. Yu Zhiagang bowed and said, Thank you, Haotian sect. In the sect master's hall, a man standing over 2 meters tall, with a sturdy build and imposing figure, stood there, like a mountain. Is this my token for Brother Hao? Where is he? Take me there. Tang Xiao looked at the token in his hand and left, heading for the foot of the mountain. When he saw Yu Zhiagang, his eyes flashed with disappointment. It wasn't his brother. Master, I wonder why you've come here with Brother Hao's token. Yu Zhiagang bowed to Tang Xiao and said, His Majesty Haotian has disappeared. I don't know where he's gone. He had a son who trained under me, and now something unexpected has happened. Oh, and here's a letter from Haotian Douluo. He gave it to me along with the token. Tang Xiao took the letter and began to read. Chapter 206 The promotional tournament ends. No one knew about Yu Zhiagang's trip to the Clear Sky sect. Everyone's attention was focused on the Continental High-Level Spirit Master Elite competition, and no one was interested in a Grand Spirit Master seeking fame. Tang Xiao trembled upon receiving Tang Hao's letter. To Big Brother Tang Xiao, by the time you read this, I may no longer be here. I don't know why, but I've been having a bad feeling lately, so I wrote this letter and gave it to Yu Zhiagang. If he can't find me, he can come find you, Big Brother. Yin and I have a son named Tang San, also known as Xiao San. He's a remarkable man, possessing twin spirits, blue silver grass and clear sky hammer. I'm a sinner of the sect. I can't repay the sect for their training in me, so I'm training my son to become something greater than myself. If Yu Zhiagang comes to you, it's likely that something's happened to him and Xiao San. Please take care of them, Tang Hao. After reading Tang Hao's letter, Tang Xiao recalled the moment when, just as he was about to take a cup, it suddenly shattered. Tang Xiao wondered if his brother had truly perished. How could he, as the eldest brother, have he truly fulfilled his duties? He hadn't protected his sister-in-law and the people he loved most, not even his own brother. Brother Hao, don't worry. Leave Xiao San to me. As long as I, Tang Xiao, remain alive, I will not let anything happen to Xiao San, Tang Xiao whispered, gazing at the horizon. A portrait of Tang Hao and Yin seemed to appear on the horizon. The burly man, a man of immense build, couldn't help but shed tears. After a moment, Tang Xiao calmed down and looked at the one-legged Yu Zhiagang beside him, asking, Master, Tang San is my nephew. How is he doing lately? Tell me. Yu Zhiagang was delighted. Finally, he had a connection. Sky-roaring Douluo was younger than his father, Thunder Douluo Yu Yuanzhen, and a titled Douluo with even greater talent. With Xiaoshan Douluo on his side, who else would dare to speak loudly to him? Yu Zhiagang had found a new background. Li Luochen and even the Spirit Hall didn't know about it, and even if they knew, what difference would it make? There was nothing to be afraid of. Li Luochen could kill Tang Hao, and he could also kill Tang Xiao with just the clear sky hammer. As for the Spirit Hall, Bi Bidong was training Hulina, hoping that all these years of instruction would pay off in the Spirit Master Elite competition, and Hulina would give her a satisfactory answer. However, Bi Bidong's thoughts kept wandering. She was thinking about a little baby boy with golden hair, so soft and small. Bi Bidong loved this grandson very much. Maybe this was the kind of love that comes from a grandparent's relationship. Jin Ringsu was so envious that her back teeth were almost broken. Back to the Spirit Master competition, Shrek Academy had won 14 consecutive games in the qualifying rounds. Among all 15 teams, Shrek Academy ranked first and won the best place in the Heaven Dao Empire division. This time, Shrek Academy defeated veteran teams such as Blazing Fire Academy, Botanical Academy, Xianshu Academy, Thunder Academy, and Divine Wind Academy, undeniably becoming the strongest Spirit Master Academy in the Heaven Dao Empire, a title well deserved. This brilliant achievement was the result of the combined efforts of the entire Shrek Academy team. After the competition, Emperor Ziyi offered another impassioned encouragement and inspiration. The finals were about to begin, the true battle to determine the continent's strongest academy. As an emperor, Emperor Ziyi could not leave Heaven Dao City without permission. After his speech, Emperor Ziyi announced that Crown Prince Zhu King would represent him as an envoy from the Heaven Dao Empire to judge the competition. He would personally accompany the 15 Heaven Dao Empire teams to a city on the border between the two empires for the finals, hosted by the Spirit Hall. Jin Ringsu had already reverted to her former identity as Zhu King, though there was no need for her to do so. Zhu King had done a wonderful job during Jin Ringsu's childbirth. Jin Ringsu's motive for returning to the role was simply to give Zhu King a break. After enduring so much pressure alone, he naturally needed a break. Zhu King was naturally happy to oblige, so he donned a human skin mask, transformed himself, and headed to his residence in Xiandao City to rest for a while until the Spirit Master competition was over. It was a long vacation, so Li Luochen couldn't help but say, "Jin Ringsu, you're truly a good leader. You didn't even exploit Zhu King?" What a conscience. The teams were given only 3 days to prepare for the finals. After 3 days, 15 teams, along with their teachers and escorted by 500 royal knights, a group of over 1,000 people, set off for the finals venue, Wuhan City. Originally, the finals weren't set to take place in Wuhan City, but for unknown reasons, the Spirit Hall suddenly changed its mind. This year's finals were held in the Spirit Hall's main city, a city almost entirely owned by the Spirit Hall. It sat at the border of two great empires, neither of which claimed ownership. Most importantly, the Pope's Palace, one of the two halls symbolizing the Spirit Hall's highest dignity, was located within Spirit City. Li Luochen had already prepared himself for a beating from his mother-in-law. After all, this time, Shrek Academy would defeat the Spirit Hall team, and in front of the Pope's Palace. This would undoubtedly be a loss of face for the Pope. While others didn't know about the close relationship between Shrek Academy and Spirit Hall, the Spirit Hall's top brass knew that Shrek Academy was led by a Spirit Hall elder. But did this prevent Bibi Dong from giving Li Luochen a beating? It didn't. Bibi Dong had wanted to beat Li Luochen for a long time. Especially that face of his, all was innocent, made Bibi Dong's hands itch. The latest novel is being released on the 69th Book Forum. Sitting in the Pope's Palace, Bibi Dong pondered her next steps. Some time ago, the new leader of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex clan, Yu Luomian, surrendered with his clan. Bibi Dong gladly accepted. She had originally planned to annihilate the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex clan, but their surrender saved her from wasting manpower. Furthermore, Yu Luomian was a level 95 title Douluo with a 100,000-year spirit ring. He had ascended to the peak of level 94 after absorbing 4 spirit bones and then, after a period of arduous training, digested his inner spirit power and reached level 95. He was an indispensable fighting force for Bibi Dong, and he was also very clever. Unlike other Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex spirit masters, he was very intelligent. Bibi Dong immediately appointed Yu Luomian an elder of the Spirit Elders Hall, a formal elder. If Bibi Dong still had her heart set on Yu Gang, she might have simply wiped out the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus clan without reason. But now she had changed. Yu Gang? Just a weed, a betrayal of her once girlish heart. As for the 7 Treasures Glazed Tile sect, that was the task assigned to her daughter, Jin Ringsu. Since she said she could conquer the 7 Treasures Glazed Tile sect, Bibi Dong naturally let her handle it on her own. The lower 4 sects were already Spirit Hall's lackeys, so there was no need to worry about them. Bibi Dong now only cared about the Clear Sky sect, or rather, the only one that could flex its muscles. It suddenly occurred to Bibi Dong that Tang San seemed to be a hybrid of Tang Hao and a spirit beast. Perhaps she could use Tang Hao's corpse to test the Clear Sky sect, since the current leader was Tang Hao's brother. Ghost, Bibi Dong suddenly called out. Here. Your Holiness, Ghost Douluo suddenly appeared, a ghostly figure, no spirit rings in sight. What a Ghost Douluo! hang Tang Hao's corpse at the gate of Spirit City and post a notice announcing the previous pope's assassination, the thief Tang Hao, who was killed by a Spirit Hall elder. Tell the entire continent that Spirit Hall is not to be trifled with, even the world's foremost sect, Haoshan Douluo, will shed blood, Bi Bidong said, throwing the contents of a storage spirit guide. Suddenly, a skeleton appeared inside the Pope's hall. The corpse was limbless, its skull peeled back, and its torso hollowed out. Ghost Douluo could still recognize it as the former Tang Hao, and he sighed inwardly, wondering which elder had killed Tang Hao. What a remarkable achievement! As you command, Your Majesty, Ghost Douluo said, carrying Tang Hao's corpse away. From then on, there was another corpse at the gate of Spirit City. Chapter 207 Return to Wuhan City. Suddenly, a body appeared at the gate of Wuhan City. The people inside were confused as to what had happened. Then, the knights of the Wuhan Hall began posting various notices. People flocked to see what was happening. Taoshan Douluo Tang Hao of the Haoshan sect, who combined with the soul beast and maliciously killed the previous Pope Jin Zunji, has now been killed by an elder of the Spirit Hall. His corpse has been hanging in Spirit City for 10 years, warning the world that the Spirit Hall must not be insulted. Haoshan Douluo is dead? Which elder is so powerful, combined with the soul beast? The Haoshan sect is really worthy of being the Haoshan sect. Such a thing can happen. Tisk tisk tisk, big brother, do you have any implication in this? Is the Haoshan sect doing something shameful? Of course there are many. Which sect do you think is responsible for killing soul beasts and exploding soul bones? It was the Haoshan sect. The Haoshan sect killed many soul beasts for soul bones. Do you know what will happen to soul masters in the future if they hunt soul beasts like this? Will they hunt without soul rings? Yes, that's right. The Haoshan sect is so selfish. They like to bully the weak and the old. It is also thanks to our Spirit Hall's warning with force, otherwise the Haoshan sect would have been so arrogant. When the previous Clear Sky Douluo Tangchen was alive, the Clear Sky sect was so arrogant that they didn't even take the Spirit Hall seriously. Ever since Tangchen disappeared, they have become weak. You bully the weak and fear the strong. Bah, didn't you notice the soul beast fusion? This is a taboo. We soul masters and soul beasts are natural enemies. How dare he be a traitor? It's most likely a transformed soul beast. It is said that transformed soul beasts are very good looking, so Tang Hao just can't control his lower body. The most infuriating thing is that he dared to kill the previous pope. Yes, a traitor, traitor. Traitor, the people and soul masters of the Spirit Hall cursed together. This was the effect Bibi Dong wanted. Starting from the Spirit City, the reputation of the Clear Sky sect would plummet. After the competition was over, the Clear Sky sect would be excluded from the 7 major sects. Bibi Dong suddenly thought that if a new sect was needed, then who would be suitable to be the #1 sect in the world? Bibi Dong suddenly thought of a man dressed in azure, with a quirky personality. While a bit naive, this idiot had no real problem with his strength, having already reached the 95th level of title Douluo. He had chosen to start his own business instead of inheriting the family fortune, leaving the priests and elders speechless, including Bibi Dong. Now that he was in demand, Bibi Dong felt reassured that he held the position of the world's leading sect. After all, he was one of them. Preparations could begin for the re-election of the 7 major sects. Bibi Dong intended to control all 7, granting both oppression and freedom. As for Shrek Academy, Bibi Dong pondered how to bestow their status. Shrek already had 2 titled Douluo, one of whom, Poison Douluo, was the 8th priest. Before the Soul Master competition, Flanders had come to Wuhan City to be honored and made an elder. Furthermore, the core figure of Shrek Academy was her son-in-law, and Bibi Dong was grappling with how to handle this. Well, let's discuss this with that brat later. He's got a lot of ideas. Maybe he'll have something good. Bibi Dong rubbed her brow, then put down her work and prepared to take a shower and get some beauty sleep. Too much stress can age quickly, and Bibi Dong still values her appearance. After all, she knows she's beautiful, and aside from her precious daughter, no one can surpass her. In the Pope's palace, Bibi Dong's room suddenly heard the sound of running water and a woman humming a song. Regarding the Spirit Hall Academy team, Yan, having been beaten so badly by Li Luchan, will miss this competition. Only Ziyu and Hulina are currently participating, with the rest being soul masters. Ziyu's current cultivation level is 55. He's also a level up spirit ring absorber, though not by much. He's also used whale glue, and his fifth spirit ring is around 18,000 years old. Ziyu's strength is steadily increasing, and within 20 years, the spirit wall will have another title Douluo with an artifact spirit. As for Hulina, things are a bit outrageous. Her soul power has reached level 62, and her sixth soul ring has leapfrogged a 50,000-year-old six-tailed firefox. This has given her a powerful ranged attack soul skill. Previously, Hulina relied primarily on mental charm and control, relying on her brother Ziyu or her spirit fusion skill, Yaomei, for direct attacks. Her own offensive power wasn't particularly strong, but her newly acquired sixth soul skill has completely freed her from this limitation. Now, Hulina can both control and attack. Her brother Ziyu has become somewhat of a sidekick. After all, they are siblings. Spirit fusion skills are controlled by the one with the higher soul power, or they deliberately let one of them take the lead, though Hulina is often the one taking the lead these days. So Ziyu is now just a sidekick, as Hulina is now far stronger than him. For example, Hulina's spirit fusion skills previously defeated a Contra. While that Contra didn't have the best spirit ring configuration, they still had a proven record. Meanwhile, Hulina lay on the windowsill, her eyes empty, thinking of a heartless man. The unfaithful man in her heart. Nana, Nana, Nana. Hulina was startled awake by the sudden cry, then saw Ziyu standing beside her. Brother, you screamed so loudly, it scared me to death. I've screamed so many times, and you didn't respond. Now you're blaming me for screaming too loud? And you're still thinking about Li Luchen. Ziyu knew his sister was in love with Li Luchen, but Hulina wasn't very tight-lipped, so the slightest question would reveal her secrets. Oh my god, brother, what are you talking about? Hulina's face flushed, as if she'd been caught in an affair. The latest novel is released on the 69th book forum. I wonder if Luchen will come this time. Ziyu, of course, heard Hulina's soft voice. He stiffened his fist, but then relaxed. Did he see that Yandu had been beaten to a pulp? He'll come. He's the leader of the Shrek team, so of course he'll come. You'll see him then. Also, don't let us down during the competition. This is a matter of reputation for Spirit Hall. Although Li Luchen is our elder, outsiders don't know that, so we should win if we can. If we lose, we'll be thrown into Death Canyon. Ziyu shuddered at the thought of Death Canyon. That damn place was truly inhospitable. Got it, brother. I won't let us down. It's not Li Luchen on the other side. I won't show any mercy. Hulina promised, patting 3060 elsewhere. At the gates of Spirit City, 15 teams from the Heaven Dao Empire arrived. These 5 teams were Shrek Academy, Xinfang Academy, Xianshu Academy, Blazing Academy, the Heaven Dao Royal Team, and the others. The Shrek Academy team was undefeated, followed by Xianshu Academy and Xinfang Academy tied for second, Blazing Academy third, and the Heaven Dao Royal Team and Thunder Academy fourth. Tang San didn't have the chance to acquire the immortal grass this time, leading to a moment of frustration when encountering Chihiro and Xianshu. He was ultimately persuaded by the Xiandao Royal Team's leader. Tang San was unaware that Yu Zion had been expelled from the Xiandao Royal Academy. The alumni unanimously told him that Yu Zion had suddenly hit upon a brilliant theory and had gone on a journey, perhaps returning after the competition. Tang San believed them, after all, given the written evidence. Of course, this was all deception. Tang San was unconscious at the time, unaware of Yu Zion's shattered reputation. The written evidence was also forged in advance, intended to encourage Tang San to strive for a good result. Unfortunately, it was ineffective. Although the Xiandao Royal Academy's lineup appeared strong, the players began to show signs of severe fatigue after just 10 minutes of play. Emperor Zuyu had them examined and discovered they were suffering from severe hidden injuries. Reflecting on Yu Zion's rigorous training, he feared they might be crippled. Furious, Emperor Zuyu immediately issued a bounty on Yu Zion's head. Emperor Zuyu spent a month at great expense to restore the Xiandao Royal Team to 70% health. As for who to look for, it was, of course, the Poyu clan of Shrek City. Well, when money comes, it can't be stopped. Chapter 208 Tang Hao's Corpse, Tang San's Rage. Li Luchen knew a bit about the Skydao Royal Team. He had long suspected that Yu Ziyang would copy his training equipment. Regarding this guy who only knew how to copy and not innovate, Li Luchen said, "Useless is useless. Even if I show you the exam, you won't be able to pass." As the 15 Skydao teams simultaneously approached Spirit City, Li Luchen once again reached the towering 80-meter-high granite wall. he suddenly noticed something hanging from the city gate. Upon closer inspection, it was Tang Hao's corpse. Li Yusong grinned. Tang San was one of the 15 participating teams this time. This was going to be fun. The other teams. Brother. Look. There's a body on top of Spirit City. What's going on? Why would Spirit Hall do this? Ho Wu of Blazing Fire Academy shouted, pulling her brother aside. The other academies also saw it. Xianshu Academy, Thunder Academy, Blazing Fire Academy, Xinfang Academy, and Sky Dou Royal Academy. The competitors hadn't expected such a thing to happen in Spirit City for the finals. What was Spirit Hall trying to do? It was unbelievable. The contestants left their carriages and approached the city wall to investigate. Everyone. Here's a notice, come and take a look. A student from the Xinfang Academy spotted it and called everyone over. Clear Sky Sects Clear Sky Douluo Tang Hao, who merged with a spirit beast and maliciously killed the previous pope, Jin Zunji, has been slain by a Spirit Hall elder. His body has been hanging in Spirit City for 10 years, a warning to the world that Spirit Hall must not be insulted. Oh my god, it's Clear Sky Douluo, how could it be? Oh my god, which title Douluo is so powerful? Yes. Under everyone's astonishment, Tang San of the Xiandao royal team saw the body on the city gate, his eyes narrowed, and he began to tremble all over. His purple demon eyes automatically opened. He hadn't imagined that his father, whom he hadn't seen in so many years, had been killed by the Spirit Hall. His body had been hanging at the Spirit Hall's gate, and they couldn't let it go for 10 years. How dare the Spirit Hall do this? He didn't care what his father had done, his father was still his father. To dare target his family. The Spirit Hall had already prepared a plan for his death. Xiao-san. Calm down, the Xiandao Imperial Academy's instructor placed a hand on Tang San's shoulder. Tang San, sensing the instructor's presence, calmed down a bit. They all knew Tang San's background. During the match against the Kamikaze Academy, Tang San used the Clear Sky Hammer and barely defeated Feng Xiaoshan. By then, Tang San's identity as a disciple of the Clear Sky sect had been exposed. Some within the Xiandao Imperial family speculated that Tang San was Tang Hao's son. After all, the only Clear Sky sect disciple still outside the Imperial family was Clear Sky Douluo Tang Hao, and the Xiandao Imperial family wanted to recruit Tang Hao into the Heaven Dao Empire. Even if they couldn't win over Tang Hao, cultivating Tang San was still possible. This would also earn Tang San's friendship, a future powerhouse. After all, there was still a bond of kinship. Those who successfully cultivated twin spirits to become titled Douluo were the future pillars of the Spirit Master world. The Xiandao Imperial family believed that Li Yusong, the continent's greatest young genius, would have reached full cultivation by the time he became a titled Douluo. How could he compare to twin spirits? Could their spirit abilities be more numerous? This was precisely what Emperor Zuyu thought. He no longer had control over Shrek Academy. Furthermore, Li Yusong and his ilk had never benefited from the Xiandao Imperial family, and now that their foundation was established, the Imperial family could do nothing about them. Tang San, on the other hand, was just starting out. The Xiandao Imperial Academy could invest significant resources in his training, which should give him a sense of belonging. Emperor Zuyi saw this sense of belonging to bind him. After all, Tang San's talent was truly exceptional, and he might one day become a royal attendant, protecting the Xiandao Imperial family for centuries. Alice. Emperor Zuyu miscalculated. Tang San was vindictive, repaying a small favor with a small one. Even a small drop of kindness would be a recipe for death. This was Tang San's motto. If he felt the Xiandao Imperial family had treated him in the slightest, he would harbor resentment. The scene returns to Spirit City. At the city gates, Tang San's eyes are bloodshot, but he can only restrain himself, for he must stay alive to avenge his father. Inwardly, Tang San vows a secret oath. Spirit Hall. When I become a titled Douluo, I will destroy you. Everyone in Spirit Hall will be buried with my father. If I, Tang San, cannot avenge my father, I am unworthy of being a son. Tang San is now enveloped in a powerful murderous aura, and Li Yusong, the god of death, can accurately sense it. He intends to give Tang San something fun. Just as Tang San is about to return to the carriage to rest, an old voice suddenly reaches his ears. Hey! Are you Tang San? The hybrid born from the cross between Tang Hao and a spirit beast? Humph, I am the Spirit Hall elder who killed Tang Hao. You can call me, Heaven Douluo. The proud war soul hammer, the majestic Haoshan sect? The Haoshan Douluo of the world's #1 sect is only at this level? It's not fun to fight him at all. Is he worthy of being called the world's #1 weapon spirit? It's just garbage. But Tang Hao is still of some use. Those 6 spirit bones on his body are really good. I broke his limbs, destroyed his spirit power, and slowly peeled them off from his body. Ga 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 ga. The look in Tang Hao's eyes, I can't stop savoring it. The screams of the spirit bones being peeled off were so pleasant to hear. Boy. Keep escaping, keep struggling, and live a miserable life. Then, when you have the same strength as me, come to me again, and I want to personally torture and kill you, the genius with twin spirits. Ga 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 ga. Li Luochen used his spirit power to make his voice sound old and then transmitted it to Tang San. He was eager to know what would happen to Tang San, who was so overwhelmed by his emotions. Heaven equaling Douluo. You have a way to die? Tang San's defenses were truly broken, and he suddenly shouted at the sky, startling the other academies. Is Tang San crazy? He's just mentally ill. I thought he was pretty good, but I didn't expect him to be so stupid. Many students from the Advanced Spirit Master Academy pointed fingers at Tang San, with Ho Wu being the loudest among them. She spoke boldly and, to put it bluntly, without thinking. She had previously had a good impression of Tang San. Although she hadn't defeated her, she had earned her respect. Now, Tang San's sudden roar had destroyed that good impression. Moreover, Tang San's ordinary and unremarkable appearance further negatively impacted the reviews. The latest novel is now released on the 69th book bar. Tang San, enraged, unleashed his blue-silver grass, preparing to launch a surprise attack on those who had insulted him. Thunder Bagua, a stick suddenly struck Tang San in the face, sending him flying. The attacker was none other than Li Luochen. Sky Dou Royal Team. Keep your students in check. You dare attack members of other academies without even a fighting spirit? What are you trying to do? Li Luochen's words immediately startled the Sky Dou Royal Team. Tang San had just been too quick to attack, and now being sent flying was clearly in the wrong. But the royal family was accustomed to being overbearing, and just as they were about to object. Li Luochen's eyes narrowed, his spirit power pressing directly towards the Sky Dou Royal Team leader who had spoken. What? Do you have a problem? The Sky Dou Royal Team leader was speechless. Your Highness the Crown Prince. Arriving, a voice rang out. Jinring Su, no, Zhu King, had arrived. What's going on? Zhu King's face etched with displeasure. It's like this, someone nearby told Jinring Su what had happened. How dare Tang San commit a crime here? Are you trying to discredit our Heaven Dou Empire in the sacred place of Spirit Masters? Director Li of Shrek Academy thanks you for helping the contestants this time. Tang San will receive a major offense. Any subsequent offense will result in a direct suspension. Jinring Su's words reach everyone. What do you think, Mr. Li? Yes. Fine. Trash belongs in the trash can. What's the point of letting this psycho out? Beating him up would dirty my hands, Li Luochen said, then turned and walked away. Jinring Su thought to herself, wow. Chenner, you're so domineering this time. I love that look just now. I'll have him replicate it when we get back. And just like that, the farce was over. Li Luochen's attack had shocked the Four Elements Academy, as he was about the same age as them, some even older. But Tang San, who had made them fight hard, was knocked unconscious by Li Luochen with a stick, which made the peers a little broken in their defense, but also a little relieved that he did not participate in the competition. In the Xianshu Academy team, Shui Yuer pulled her sister Shui Binger and said, wow. Sister. This Li Luochen is so domineering, I like him so much, and he is so handsome. What should I do, sister? I am going to fall for him. Shui Binger just nodded coldly, but Li Luochen's actions just now did leave a deep impression on her. In the Blazing Academy, Ho Wu watched Li Luochen's actions, her eyes lit up, and she pulled Ho Wushilong and said, brother. This kind of man is a real man, domineering. Strong. This is the man I am most satisfied with. Feng Zai Ocean, the bootlicker of the Xinfeng Academy, was heartbroken. Chapter 209 My second brother is invincible. The farce at the Spirit City gates was over. Everyone had clearly seen Tang San's mental breakdown. Of course, if they knew that Haoshan Douluo was his father, perhaps they could understand. Li Luochen, feeling elated, returned to the Shrek Academy team. Why so elated? Finally getting a chance to bludgeon the original male protagonist. It was truly refreshing. Li Luochen entered Spirit City with Dou Yan in his arms. His other arm felt a little empty, feeling a bit uncomfortable without Jinring Su, but he decided to hold his son in his arms. Li Luochen held Li Chengqian in his arms. This time, he had brought his son with him, since Li Chengqian's grandmother and great-grandfather were also there, and he wanted to hold him so they could cherish him. After all, a child was a lifeline, and Li Luochen felt that if he brought his son in, Bi Bidong wouldn't be able to bring herself to bludgeon him. After the Shrek team entered Spirit City, the other academy teams followed suit, leaving only the Heaven Dao Royal team as the last, as Tang San needed medical treatment. Li Luochen's blow was excellent, the confusion wasn't a problem. As for why he didn't kill Tang San? Mainly because he wanted to see the clown dance. Tang San and Yu Zhiagang are a perfect duo, a perfect match. One speaks his mind, the other believes it. Is there a more entertaining comedy on Douluo Continent? Tang San is also a complete idiot. He was only 29 in his previous life, and now he's several dozen years older. Yet, he can't even judge people. It's easy to imagine why Yu Zhiagang isn't recognized. But considering Tang San is an ancient being, and a tech geek at that, it's understandable that he lacks foresight. No wonder he's bullied by the other inner disciples. He deserves it. Arriving on Douluo Continent has given him a sense of superiority. It seems the bullying he endured in his previous life has distorted him somewhat. Perhaps a mentor with guidance could straighten him out, though Li Luochen thinks the odds are slim. A 29-year-old soul is unlikely to be straightened out. As for Yu Zhiagang, a clown. If it weren't for Tang San's luck as the protagonist, with his opponents all demented by the Supreme God, and everything going smoothly, I wonder what his personality would be like in any other world. Only Douluo Continent suits him. Elsewhere, like the Daoqi Continent, Tang San's personality would likely be exaggerated. With sharp words, a stubborn mind that doesn't understand the situation, and a dead-end brain. Such a person wouldn't last long in a large world like that. Li Luochen was thankful to be reborn in Douluo Continent. The world's level is low, but immortality is possible. In any other world, he'd probably be completely wiped out. Half a day later, Tang Xiao brought Yu Zhiagang to the gates of Spirit City. When Tang Xiao saw Tang Hao's body, he was furious. Brother Hao, were you really killed? Damn Spirit Hall! Tang Xiao was now clad in a black robe and mask, so no one could see his face, or see this boss man shed tears. Yu Zhiagang was also very shocked. How could the dignified Haoshan Douluo be killed? Could it be? Yu Zhiagang then noticed the notice on the side. Your Majesty, come and see. After hearing this, Tang Xiao came to the notice, read it, and blushed immediately. Impossible. This is impossible. My second brother is invincible. He's the only one who can kill others. How could anyone kill him? Back then, that fellow Jin's Unji was easily killed by my second brother. Even that old bastard Jin Daolia couldn't kill Brother Hao. How? You tell me, a titled Douluo elder could kill Brother Hao? Are you kidding? This must be a conspiracy by the Spirit Hall. They want to distort the facts to suppress the reputation of the Clear Sky sect. They found Brother Hao and sent 10 titled Daolos to surround and kill him. Woohoo. Brother Hao. I really regret not being with you. If we were together, how could they let them do what they want? Don't worry, Brother Hao, I'll take good care of Xiao-san, Tang Xiao whispered silently. He would protect Tang Hao and Blue Silver Emperor's son with his own life. And he would definitely kill the Spirit Hall elder who took advantage of the opportunity to kill Tang Hao. On the other side, tisk, Li Luochen suddenly sneezed. For some reason, he felt like someone was missing him. No. More accurately, he was thinking about his stick. It was already stained with blood. He wondered which unfortunate soul would catch a cold. Chenner, you, a dignified soul Douluo, can catch a cold? Could some vixen have bewitched you? Dou Yan, the little dragon, had a perfectly accurate sense of smell. It wasn't Li Luochen who was bewitched, but the vixen. What's going on? I guess some jerk is plotting against me. It seems my reputation isn't good enough. Even if I killed Tang Hao, no one would know. Li Luochen felt that he was sometimes too low-key. He hadn't done anything pretentious or embarrassing in his cultivation. He'd always been diligent in his practice, then achieved a higher level to overpower others. Damn, that thought was a bit boring. Pretending to be impressive and embarrassing might be a bit mindless, but it was still satisfying. The latest novel is released on the 69th book bar. Just as Li Luochen was lost in thought, a beautiful girl suddenly sneezed inside the spirit hall. Ah, who's thinking about me? Could it be him? I'm so excited to see him soon, Hulina muttered excitedly to herself. Behind her, Ziyu was completely speechless. He felt like his sister was a bit of a bootlicker. While the comparison wasn't a good one, it was truly apt. Ziyu only dared to think about it in his heart. If he dared to speak it out loud, he'd probably be beaten by his sister. His sister, Hulina, was truly formidable. Besides her incredible defense and speed, she also possessed immense spiritual power. If they weren't siblings, Ziyu wouldn't have felt anything, no matter how beautiful his sister was. Therefore, Ziyu could ignore Hulina's charms, but it was undeniable that Hulina's spiritual power was exceptionally high. Ziyu knew that the Pope was already planning to grant Hulina her 8th spirit ring, starting with a hunt for a 100,000-year spirit ring. By then, Hulina's power would be even greater. Ziyu was deeply envious. He didn't have such an opportunity. He wished his 9th spirit ring could be a perfect 90,000-year-old spirit ring, like Long Gongfeng, Long Zhanshan. The Continental High-Level Spirit Master Elite competition was drawing to a close. Starting with the Spirit Hall Finals, the continent would gradually undergo a transformation, and the power structures within it would be reshuffled. Hulina will be fully equipped with soul bones. The soul bones of the 3,000-headed ant emperors will all be given to Hulina. If one person absorbs all 3 soul bones at the same time, they will mutate into 100,000-year soul bones. Then, Li Luochen's compensation is a 65,000-year-old 3-eyed demon fox head soul bone, which makes 4 soul bones. After that, there are 200,000-year soul bones, the left arm bone and the right leg bone. Well, that's pretty powerful. As for why Hulina was given such a big cheat, you will know in the future extra chapters. P.S. This book is starting to rush in the progress, because there is really nothing to write about in Dao Yi. The next ones are the destruction of Haoshan sect, Sea God Island, the destruction of Tang Chen, Shura God Test, and the unification of the continent. That's all. It will be finished in about 2 months. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 210 Goodbye Mother-in-Law. Shrek Academy checked directly into the hotel arranged by the Xiandao imperial family in Wuhan City. Wuhan City is a place of high cost and high cost of living. Over 90% of the residents are spirit masters, so they are not short of money. However, since they were all representing the Xiandao Empire in the finals, all expenses were reimbursed by the Xiandao Empire. After Shrek Academy settled in, Li Luochen, holding his son, led Du Yuan to the Pope's palace. On the way, they saw Jin Ringsu and they walked together. After all, it was a relatively relaxing time, so Jin Ringsu returned to her normal appearance and headed for the Pope's palace. At the Pope's palace, Bi Bidong was currently teaching Hulina. Nana, our opponents this time are formidable. Xianshu Academy possesses the soul fusion technique, making them quite powerful. Blazing Fire Academy's Ho Wu possesses the ring fusion technique, which is quite impressive. Most importantly, Shrek Academy boasts a soul emperor, a soul king, and the rest are soul masters. This is the biggest obstacle to our Spirit Hall Academy's victory. Nana, are you listening? Bi Bidong was speaking when she realized her disciple was lost in thought and immediately became irritated. Teacher, I'm listening. Even if the Shrek team is that strong, I can still defeat them. My brother and I's soul fusion technique is no joke. As soon as Hulina heard the name Shrek Academy, she thought of Li Luochen and wished she could meet him soon. Bi Bidong, on the other hand, looked helpless. This vixen had also been seduced by that brat. What good is that brat? All men are pigs, don't you know? Your Highness. Elder Li Luochen requests an audience. A guard entered the Pope's hall to report. What's this kid doing here? Bi Bidong was a bit confused, then said, let Elder Li in. Yes. I'll take my leave. Not long after the guard left, Li Luochen arrived, holding Li Chenqian in his arms. Behind him, 2 beauties, Du Yuan and Jin Ringsu, walked side by side. Hulina turned and saw Li Luochen, her eyes sparkling. Bi Bidong felt inexplicably annoyed by Hulina's expression, but her anger dissipated when she saw Li Chenqian in Li Luochen's arms. Greetings to His Holiness the Pope. Li Luochen felt obliged to give his mother-in-law some respect, but he didn't kneel. He simply nodded, and that was all. It was impossible for a mother-in-law to ask her son-in-law to kneel and pay her respects. HMPH. Stand up, Bibi Dong said arrogantly, then in an instant she was in front of Li Luochen and snatched Li Chenqian away. Gainer, sweetheart. Do you miss Grandma? Grandma misses you so much? Oh, Gainer, you're getting more and more beautiful. You'll definitely be a handsome man in the future. The Pope, who had been so aloof and superior just a moment ago, now transformed into an ordinary woman overflowing with maternal love. No, not a grandmotherly love. Li Luochen and the other two were simply ignored. Li Chenqian was never noisy to begin with, but once Bibi Dong held him, he smiled happily. It really was the affection between the generations. Tell me, what are you doing here? Bibi Dong, holding Li Chenqian, began to question the three people in front of her. You, is this how you spoil my son? You don't even care about your own daughter? You're such a bully. Jin Ringsu was completely furious. For some reason, her defenses were broken. Li Luochen and Du Yuyan simply symbolically grabbed her. Jin Ringsu was truly overwhelmed. As a child, she'd always wanted Bibi Dong to hug her, only to be beaten or scolded, with eyes that threatened her death. Now, her own son could easily receive his mother's affection, completely breaking Jin Ringsu's defenses. What's the matter? Refusing to accept? Your mission is complete. Anything else? If not, Kyaner and I will sleep together tonight. Aren't you still going to pretend to be Zhu King? Hurry up. Bibi Dong's words were truly sarcastic, and Jin Ringsu was furious. If Li Luochen and Du Yuyan hadn't caught her, she would have fought Bibi Dong to the death. Bibi Dong, what are you talking about? Who's useless? Jin Ringsu was completely furious. Just as Jin Ringsu called out Bibi Dong's real name, Bibi Dong returned in an instant, squeezing Jin Ringsu's face with one hand. Who are you calling out to? You're so disrespectful. I don't know who you take that from. You're so uneducated. Bibi Dong had just finished saying this when she saw Jin Ringsu staring at her. Suddenly, Bibi Dong realized it was all her fault. She loosened her grip on Jin Ringsu's face, slapped herself lightly on the lips, and left. Li Luochen and Du Yuyan had already gotten their fill of gossip, and so had Hulina. Knowing her teacher had a daughter, older than she could only accept it. The latest novels are now available on the 69th book bar. However, the most important thing was Li Luochen's arrival. Hulina's attention was mostly on him, and the perceptive Du Yuyan noticed, suddenly twisting her hand around the soft flesh of his waist. Hiss. Li Luochen felt a pang of pain and glanced at Du Yuyan with a puzzled look, unsure of what he had done wrong. Du Yuyan glanced at Li Luochen, and he followed her gaze to see Hulina gazing at him with affection. No wonder, this little fox is captivated by me. She's worthy of being the second most romantically inclined of the three beauties in Spirit Hall. I've only met her a few times, right? How could she be like this? I don't quite understand the way a lovesick person thinks. Why overthink it? At least Hulina won't betray Spirit Hall's interests just because she likes Tang San. That's good. However, Li Luochen still had more serious matters to attend to. After all, there was Jin Ringsu, a raging mess, who needed his comfort. Well, he'd have to put a little effort into calming her down tonight. Li Luochen managed to coax Jin Ringsu into a calming embrace, carrying her back to her room in a princess carry. He hadn't been able to spend any time with Jin Ringsu during this time. After all, they had a child, and Jin Ringsu had been busy coaxing their son, so Du Yuyan had been bearing the brunt of it all. Du Yuyan bore not only her own share, but also Jin Ringsu's, leaving her with a daily ache, her legs weak as she leaned against the wall. Now it was finally Jin Ringsu's turn, and Du Yuyan felt somewhat relieved. Although it was very cool, it was exhausting, and her back was strained. Hulina was puzzled as to why Li Luochen had carried Jin Ringsu away, and why Du Yuyan had followed him. Now that the Pope's palace was deserted, she planned to return home to rest. But as she reached her doorstep, she felt as if something was missing, so she decided to ask Li Luochen out on a date, even with Jin Ringsu and Du Yuyan. Hulina strode directly towards Li Luochen's residence. As she reached his door, she heard faint sounds, but she couldn't quite place them. After all, the Spirit Elder's Hall was soundproof. It was simply that Li Luochen's door hadn't been properly closed. A high-heeled shoe was stuck there. Hulina, curious, opened Li Luochun's door a crack and witnessed a fierce battle. A man with a gun attacked the six-winged female warrior, but the female warrior was unable to resist from the very beginning and was beaten to pulp, begging for mercy. Meanwhile, the dragon girl on the side cheered and helped the gunman deal with the six-winged female warrior. Hulina's face flushed red when she saw such a fierce battle, but she had no intention of leaving. She just watched the fight, her hand unconsciously sliding down. Chapter 211 Star Luo Royal Team. One day later, Li Luochun, Du Yuyan, and Jin Ringsu were walking out of their room when they suddenly stepped into a puddle of water. Why is there water here? Du Yuyan stared at the puddle. She and Jin Ringsu were supporting each other. Jin Ringsu was truly useless. She had been knocked unconscious in less than 2 hours. She had borne all of Li Luochun's pressure. Du Yuyan began to wonder if she should find Li Luochun a younger sister, or else the two sisters would be overwhelmed. Sooner or later, Li Luochun would destroy them. Du Yuyan and Jin Ringsu exchanged glances, then nodded. Li Luochun, lost in thought, had a rough idea of what the water was. He shook his head. He had had a blast yesterday, his fighting spirit surging. Li Luochun felt refreshed. The Shrek team had a match today, so he needed to go. Li Luochun put his arms around Du Yuyan and Jin Ringsu's waists and walked to the fighting spirit area. Elsewhere, Hulina of the Holy Maiden Hall lay in bed, her eyes dazed as she stared at the ceiling. Her mind reeled back from the previous night. She'd actually gone home in the middle of the night. There was nothing she could do about Li Luochun's incredible fighting prowess. Hulina felt incredibly shy, but the feeling was truly novel. She couldn't think about it anymore. After working all night and nearly collapsing, she decided to get some sleep, or she wouldn't have the energy for the match. In the Spirit Hall arena, the Shrek team faced the Xingluo Royal team. The Shrek Academy team entered the match. Ma Hongjin, Oscar, Zhu Zhuking, Yu Xiangxin, Dai Mu Bei, Ning Rongrong, and Yi Lingling. This was Yi Lingling's first match, so why was she assigned to the match? Because her opponent possessed a spirit fusion technique, requiring her to heal and recover, as well as replenish her spirit power. Furthermore, it was to give the opponent the impression of being careless. After all, with two support-type backline players, the opponent would subconsciously assume that defeating them would guarantee victory for the Spirit Hall arena. This battle was a life-or-death duel between Zhu Zhuking and Dai Mu Bei. Even before the match began, Zhu Zhuking had revealed the significance of the match. Dai Mu Bei remained silent. Although he didn't receive Zhuking, this match was crucial to him. Defeating Davis would guarantee his survival. Li Luochun's faction on the Shrek team wasn't particularly friendly towards Dai Mu Bei, but Zhu Zhuking was a true Li Luochun supporter. They could choose not to help Dai Mu Bei, but they couldn't help Zhu Zhuking. Ma Hongjin and Oscar vowed to do their utmost to help Zhu Zhuking win. Ning Rongrong and Yi Lingling also stepped forward to support their best friend, as did Yu Xiangxin. He and Yu Xianheng had once been rivals, but it was a healthy rivalry. Regardless of who ultimately became clan leader, the other would become the Grand Elder. Neither of them clung to the position, simply motivating each other and striving for mutual improvement. Unfortunately, Yu Xianheng's defeat by Yu Zhigang left Yu Xiangxin without a brother and a rival, but his fellow Shrek Academy students provided him with a new bond and a new source of inspiration. Originally, Yang Wu was scheduled to play in this match. After all, Yang Wu's combat power rivaled that of a Soul King, far superior to Dai Mu Bei. However, Dai Mu Bei was absolutely determined to play in this match, even kneeling down to beg Yang Wu and Qin Ming. Qin Ming ultimately agreed to let Dai Mu Bei play, and this was the Shrek Academy lineup. Shrek will win, the 7 members of the Shrek team shouted as they headed towards the competition field, and Li Luochun also arrived at the scene. When he saw Zhu Zhuking, a wave of emotion suddenly welled up in his heart, and he called out to her, "Zhuking. The time has come to test the fruits of your hard work over the years. I believe you can give yourself a satisfactory answer. Also, no matter what you do, Shrek Academy and I will support you. You are free to choose what you want to do and what path you want to take. Come on. You are the strongest girl I have ever met. Move forward with the conviction that you will win." What a heartwarming quote. Zhu Zhuking's eyes welled up at Li Luochun's words. She recalled the time when Li Luochun had trained her individually. He was extremely strict with her, holding her to higher standards than the other team members. But during instruction and during rest time, he was incredibly gentle. Even though Li Luochen was also a philandering man with 2 stunningly beautiful wives, Zhu Zhuking's heart was still moved. She had been waiting for Li Luochen's approval. Everything she did was for it. Li Luochen's approval was even more valuable than sacrificing her life in the royal family competition. Though Zhu Zhuking's eyes moistened, she didn't look back. Once the arrow is shot, there's no turning back. She was determined to do her best, win this match, and prove to Li Luochen with concrete results and actions that she could do it. The latest novel is now available on the 69th book bar. Du Yuyan and Jin Ringsu felt a little sour at their husband's attitude towards this little kitten, but compared to the torment they felt, a little jealousy was more than acceptable. Zhu Zhuking was quite good-looking. With her childlike face and large breasts, it's fair to say she had the face of an angel and the figure of a devil. Most importantly, Zhu Zhuking's figure was almost as majestic as Jin Ringsu's. Who knew how much more powerful she would be when she reached adulthood? Du Yuyan and Jin Ringsu knew their men well. They looked gentle and refined, but in reality, they were perverts, like they had never seen a beautiful woman in their entire lives. They were completely ravaged. So, the 2 women agreed, they needed to find a comrade. On the opposing Xingluo royal team, a man with long golden hair cascading down his back wore a lazy expression on his face, his eyes shimmering with a shimmering purple light, though not twin pupils. He bore at least a passing resemblance to Daimyo Bei, though he was a bit taller. Though casual, his smile still held a hint of superiority. Behind him, a tall girl, almost as tall as him, followed, with a curvaceous figure and skin as white as suet jade. She also wore a smile, even holding Zhu Zhuking's arm in the arena. The girl was beautiful, even more like Zhu Zhuking than Daimyo Bei did. However, she lacked Zhu Zhuking's coldness. The whole person looks very gentle, and in this gentleness, beauty is easier to be recognized. These 2 people are Davis and Zhu Zuoyan. Chapter 212 Zhu Zhuking's 4th soul skill. Davis's gaze swept across Daimyo Bei's face, and he said calmly, "Mu Bei, I didn't expect you to make it to the finals and challenge me face to face. You've already succeeded, but you should understand that doing so will force me to strike you down. Besides, Shrek Academy is the public enemy of our Xingluo Empire. This time, I won't hold back. Davis, stop pretending. When have you ever stopped attacking me? Today on the court, you and I are enemies. If you have the guts, defeat me first. Otherwise, who will inherit the family throne? Who knows?" Davis looked at Daimyo Bei in surprise. "Oh, our playboy has changed. Well, I want to see what skills you've acquired in these years since leaving home. You even dare to speak to Big Brother like that. Is it because Shrek Academy has given you the confidence? They are indeed powerful, especially that monster Li Luochen. I bet he's a soul sage by now. Oh. And Zhuking is with you too. It seems like you're really prepared to fight us to the end." Davis's gaze fell on Zhu Zhuking, a solemn look in his eyes. He exchanged glances with a girl beside him, a cold glint flashing through both of their eyes. "Zhuking, if I remember correctly, you're not even 15 yet. To be able to participate in this tournament at such a young age and reach the top 10, I don't know if I should say you're lucky or just incredibly capable. But that's all for you. Dad and Mom miss you dearly, but we can't go against our ancestral rules. After the competition, you should come back with me," Zhu Zuoyan said softly, acting like a kind sister. "Zhu Zuoyan, there's no need to be so pedantic. If I hadn't left home, I'd probably be dead by your hands. Missing me? Is there such a thing as kinship in our family?" Zhu Zhuking's voice grew even colder, unleashing her level 47 soul power. Fighting spirit reached its peak. Davis and Zhu Zuoyan were both startled. The referee arrived at the center of the 2 teams. "Prepare for the match. You may release your spirits. The rules remain the same. The loser will be eliminated immediately, and the winner will advance to the top 6. Shrek Advanced Spirit Master Academy vs Star Luo Royal Advanced Spirit Master Academy. Get set, brothers and sisters. Unleash your spirits," Oscar shouted. Ma Hongjin, 1 yellow, 2 purple, 3 black. Oscar, 1 yellow, 2 purple, 1 purple black, 1 black. Yu Xiangxin, 2 yellow, 2 purple. Zhu Zhuking, 2 yellow, 1 purple, 1 purple black. Ning Rongrong, 2 yellow, 1 purple, 1 purple black. Yilingling, 2 yellow, 1 purple, 1 purple black. Daimyo Bei, 2 yellow, 2 purple. Davis's Star Luo royal team was stunned. A soul emperor. A soul king. A 1,000-year second spirit ring? A 10,000-year fourth spirit ring? What the hell? What kind of place is Shrek Academy, a place that produces monsters? Zhu Huayan's gaze remained fixed on Zhu Zhuking. Zhu Zhuking's spirit power was the same as hers, level 47, but she exuded a higher aura. Then there was Zhu Zhuking's fourth spirit ring, a purple-black hue, indicating it was over 9,000 years old. Zhu Zhuking's purple-black hue was different from that of Ningrongrong and Yi Lingling. Those two support-type beauties were simply purple with a hint of black. Zhu Zhuking's fourth spirit ring, on the other hand, was black with a hint of purple, indicating it was approximately 9,900 years old. A spirit skill so close to a 10,000-year spirit ring, if it belonged to a spirit beast that matched its attributes, would likely be no less powerful than an ordinary 10,000-year spirit ring. Zhu Huayan observed all of this, a flicker of relief forming in her eyes. But she quickly dismissed these distracting thoughts. She now needed to cooperate with Davis to win the match. With the current Shrek Academy lineup, only two of them could possibly defeat them by using a spirit fusion technique, but Dime Yubei and Zhu Zhuking could also do it. Just as their hands were about to connect, entering the spirit fusion state, a dark shadow blocked their movements. Its speed was so fast that it resembled a streak of black light without a close look. Those present with Soul Douluo level spiritual power could clearly discern Zhu Zhuking's soul ability. They could clearly see her silhouette. That was Zhu Zhuking, the one who had just interrupted Davis and Zhu Huayan's fusion spirit technique. The black shadow she transformed into was her fourth soul ability, Nether Shadow Escape. Zhu Zhuking enters a dark stealth state, increasing her attack power by 100%, her speed by 200%, and her attacks imbued with dark energy. Such a staggering amplification soul ability is not even possessed by 10,000-year-old soul beasts. Zhu Zhuking's fourth soul ring represents a shadow elf. Shadow elves are one of the darlings of the elementals. Similar beings to them include the Ice and Snow Maiden and the Fire Spirit Sacred Beast. The shadow elf Li Luochen captured for Zhu Zhuking was a whopping 9,990 years old. It was only a few days away from reaching 10,000 years old, but unfortunately, it encountered Li Luochen. Zhu Zhuking's physical fitness was sufficient, and the shadow elf's intelligence was shattered by Li Luochen's mental attacks. Although absorbing it was somewhat difficult, it was ultimately successful. Since Zhu Zhuking ingested the Nether Ghost Flower, the dark attributes missing from her Nether Spirit Cat have been replenished. This not only elevated the Nether Spirit Cat to the rank of a top-tier beast spirit, but also enhanced Zhu Zhuking's attributes in various areas. This shadow spirit, a favorite of the dark element, further deepened Zhu Zhuking's dark attributes and increased her speed. Furthermore, Li Luochen's training, often involving weight training and teaching her that speed is equal to weight, equal to strength, and that sufficient speed can be incredibly powerful. Furthermore, the role of agility-type spirit masters is even greater than that of control-type spirit masters. They need to exploit weaknesses, harvest opponents, finish off enemies, and confuse them, among other tasks. The latest novel is now available on the 6ix9ine book forum. This insight into agility-type spirit master, imparted by Li Luochen, has greatly benefited Zhu Zhuking. At the very beginning of the match, Zhu Zhuking had already used her fourth soul skill. As a key player with agility-based attack, she needed to think carefully and empathize with the opponent's opponent. Zhu Zhuking imagined that if she were Davis or Zhu Huayan, facing such a disadvantage, she would definitely choose a soul fusion skill to fight for her life. Zhu Zhuking anticipated this move and immediately attacked first, interrupting the fusion of Davis and Zhu Huayan's souls. Then, Zhu Zhuking grabbed Davis' neck, injuring him and losing his fighting spirit. Fifth soul skill, Phoenix Meteor Shower. X2 inches fourth soul skill, White Tiger Meteor Shower. Mohongjin and Oscar immediately unleashed a Phoenix Meteor Shower, covering their opponents. Dai Mubei, familiar with the Shrek Academy's fighting style, also used a single meteor shower to cover them. 9 treasures are famous. 3 days, Soul, Ningrongrong unleashed the 9 treasures glazed pagoda, amplifying her soul power to its fullest. Yi Lingling looked at her teammates' powerful attacks and unleashed the 9-heart begonia. Now, the 9-heart begonia was filled with ethereal energy, like a perfect masterpiece formed by heaven and earth. Yi Lingling had already covered the entire field with healing to prevent the opposing spirit master from dying, which would have eliminated Shrek Academy and permanently banned them. Zhu Zhuking was quick-witted and swift-handed. After attacking Davis, she grabbed Zhu Huayan and pulled her away from the meteor shower. Zhu Huqing was ultimately a kind-hearted girl. After Li Luchen had taken her to a course involving bloodshed, she had vomited all day. This girl was inherently kind-hearted, strong but also fragile, bearing pressures that shouldn't be borne at her age. Although Zhu Huayan had hunted her before, she was ruthless, but she couldn't be. After all, she was her own sister. Zhu Huqing didn't want anything to happen to her sister, but Davis didn't matter. Chapter 213 Victory. After Zhu Huqing pulled Zhu Huayan away, the Star Luo royal team was engulfed in a shower of phoenix and white tiger meteorites. Boom. Crack. Crack. The Star Luo royal team was completely devastated by this powerful area of effect attack, completely crippling them. When the meteor shower ended, the Star Luo royal team was lying flat on their backs, with Davis suffering the most serious injuries. Why? Daimyo Bei had focused his white tiger meteor shower on Davis. The full force of the white tiger meteor shower combined with a double phoenix meteor shower was too much for Davis, a mere level 49 soul master, to withstand. As for the other Star Luo royal team members, they were completely ravaged by the attacks of soul emperors and soul kings. Now, only Zhu Huayan remained capable of fighting. First soul skill, heal. Yi Lingling activated her first soul skill, not to heal her own teammate, but to heal the opponent, fearing their demise if she didn't. Yu Xiangxin then reacted, her arms transforming into dragons, tossing the 6 players out of the arena one by one. Wait a minute, brother Xiangxin, leave Davis to me, Daimyo Bei suddenly shouted, then ran over, grabbed Davis's legs, lifted him up, and swung him to the ground a few times. See Hulk hitting Loki for details. After Daimyo Bei had his fill, he threw Davis out. Yu Xiangxin was speechless. What kind of hatred could there be? They were brothers? Now, only Zhu Huayan remained on the field, but the Shrek team was tactful and stepped aside, allowing Zhu Huqing to duel with Zhu Huayan. Looks like I'm the only one left. It looks like I'm your prey. Come on, Zhu Huqing. Defeat me. Zhu Huayan assumed a fighting stance. She had lost this match, and possibly her life, but she had no regrets. She had driven Zhu Huqing away in the first place simply to keep her hidden, away from the royal conflict. Zhu Huayan still loved her sister, but there was no family affection in the royal struggle. Even if she desperately wanted to save her sister, who shared her father and mother, she couldn't act directly, or she would be doomed. She had no choice but to suppress her sister herself. Only by doing so could she maintain control, and she later personally expelled Zhu Huqing from the Xingluo Empire to prevent her from a tragic death or humiliation along the way. Zhu Huayan followed her all the way until she was abducted by Li Luchen. Li Luchen's rampage in the Xingluo Empire stemmed from his offense against the Xingluo imperial family. The imperial family was accumulating power to deal with them. Ultimately, it was the imperial family's dirty work. Dai Xiangxing's family had been framed, and Li Luchen had aided them, earning him a wanted list. As the eldest daughter of the Grand Duke Zhu family, she was aware of the imperial family's troubles and knew Davis's character. After Davis dealt with Daimyo Bei, he would surely pursue Zhu Huqing. Zhu Huqing might not die, but becoming Davis's plaything would be worse than death. Zhu Huayan felt that as the eldest sister, she could survive the imperial family alone. Zhu Huqing absolutely could not. Possessed by the netherworld spirit cat, X2. Zhu Huqing and Zhu Huayan were simultaneously possessed by their martial spirits, their figures becoming more slender and sharp claws appearing on their hands. Their eyes transformed into vertical yellow pupils. Netherworld stab. X2 Zhu Huqing and Zhu Huayan simultaneously unleashed their first spirit abilities. Their claws suddenly extending, their speed instantly doubling as they swiftly stabbed their opponent. This was a close-range, single-target attack. Their claws collided, sparks practically flying. Both women, both agility attack types, were incredibly fast, like two dark shadows colliding. Netherworld 100 claws, X2 using their rapidly rotating bodies and the sharp, penetrating power of their claws, the two women unleashed hundreds of attacks on the same enemy position in a remarkably short period of time, delivering immense speed and devastating devastation. This was a close-range, single-target attack. These two spirit abilities were inherited from the Zhu family, the netherworld spirit cats. Developed by their ancestors, these abilities were perfectly suited to the netherworld spirit cats. Since both were level 47 and had the same first two soul skills, they couldn't break the attack. Zhu Huqing's speed gave her an advantage, but Zhu Huayan's greater experience allowed her to withstand it. Third soul skill, Nether Spring Fall, Fourth soul skill, Nether Shadow Escape. Zhu Huayan's amplifying soul skill was her third soul skill, transforming into a streak of purple light, increasing her attack power by 50% and her speed by 100%. It was just an ordinary amplifying soul skill, but Zhu Huayan's greater combat experience made it seem more powerful. However, Zhu Huking's amplifying soul skill was the result of Li Luochen's carefully selected soul beast. For this reason, Li Luochen and Zhu Huking spent half a month in the Star Dou Great Forest before encountering a shadow elf. This was already a case of exceptional luck. With lesser luck, the wait could have taken months. Zhu Huking's fourth soul skill, Nether Shadow Escape, allowed her to enter a dark stealth state, increasing her attack power by 100%, her speed by 200%, and her attacks imbued with dark energy. Its amplification power rivaled that of a 30,000-year level amplification soul skill. Even the Xingluo royal family's White Tiger martial soul, with its fifth soul skill, White Tiger demonic transformation, couldn't match Nether Shadow Escape. On the playing field, a black light and a purple light collided at such speed that even the geniuses of the numerous academy teams watching were astonished. The latest novels are now available on the 6th book forum. They couldn't keep up with Zhu Huking and Zhu Huayan's speed, even watching from the sidelines. How could they possibly keep up in a soul duel with them? Numerous agility attack soul masters from the Soul Master Academies watched the sisters match intently, and several gained insights from it. For them, participating in the finals was truly worthwhile. The spectators in the spectator area, all spirit masters with spirit powers above the Soul Douluo level, could clearly see that Zhu Huayan was already showing signs of decline and would soon be defeated. Whoosh! The two beams of light paused, and Zhu Huayan and Zhu Huking stood on the field. Zhu Huayan was panting heavily, sweat coating her pretty face. While Zhu Huking's breathing was erratic, she was in far better shape. Zhu Huking, one last move to decide the outcome. Fourth spirit skill, Netherworld Slash. Zhu Huayan clasped her hands together, and the claws on her 10 fingers quickly merged together, forming a sharp blade about a foot long. Infused with spirit power, the black blade of light condensed in her hands. Third spirit skill, Netherworld Spider God Slash. Zhu Huking similarly clasped her hands together, and the claws on her 10 fingers quickly merged together, forming a sharp blade about 2 feet long. Infused with spirit power, the black-purple blade of light condensed in her hands. Clang, clang. The two women exchanged blows, and both appeared simultaneously where the other had been standing, though their states were completely different. Zhu Huking was standing, while Zhu Huayan was kneeling on one knee. Zhu Huking won. The Shrek Academy team won. Chapter 214 7-in-1? After the Shrek Academy team's victory, the next match was between the Spirit Hall Academy team and the Blazing Academy team. This was a major event, as the Spirit Hall team included 3 members known as the Golden Generation, with their leader, Hulina, a disciple of the current Pope. However, the interesting thing about Blazing Academy was that they had withdrawn from the competition from the outset, leaving no one to see the Golden Generation, led by Hulina, in action. However, Tang San's Heaven Dao Royal team faced a major problem as they faced the newly merged Xinfeng Academy. The reason? Feng Xiaoshan wanted to defeat Tang San, angered by their previous draw, while Ho Wu, annoyed by Tang San's outburst at the Spirit City Gate, wanted to beat him. Thanks to Li Luochen, the Shrek Academy team, while talented and proud, were not the type to look down on others. When interacting with their peers, the Shrek Academy's manners and etiquette were quite good. At least 80% of the contestants felt comfortable, and interacting with the Shrek Academy members was a genuine pleasure. Li Luochen's thinking was simple: you're just a genius, what's the need for arrogance? Genius is merely a stepping stone to greatness. A genius who hasn't fully developed is still just a genius. Arrogance is reserved for the strong. You're a weakling, even with the title of genius, you're still a weakling. Someone like Li Luochen, who has fully grown and become a top-tier powerhouse on the continent, has the right to be arrogant. Take Yan, for example. He's a genius, right? But wasn't it Li Luochen who bludgeoned him to insanity, turning him into a fallen genius? If Yan couldn't move on, his life would be ruined. If he could overcome Li Luochen's shadow and rise again, he, who has only a title Douluo, might even be able to reach the 98th level of Super Douluo. As for why Tang San didn't lose his temper after being beaten by Li Luochen, you could call Tang San mean and petty, but you couldn't call him a loser. After all, Tang San's mental age was closer to 40. He did have some resilience, but as for why he was so upset by the Xianshu Academy attack, it was because Tang San inherently looked down on the natives of Douluo Continent. He believed he had been reborn, possessing memories and techniques from his past life, superior to everyone else, and had always been a rising genius. He was somewhat inflated, and the sudden blow was a bit of a shock. However, his arrogance remained. He believed that with his twin spirits, he could defeat any opponent once he rose to prominence. The Clear Sky Hammer, with all its 10,000-year spirit rings, was unstoppable. Furthermore, Tang San harbored hatred. He wanted revenge for his parents. He wanted to destroy the spirit hall. He couldn't afford to fall, not even for a single setback. Therefore, Tang San's mental fortitude remained strong, and he didn't let Li Luochen's blow break him. It was mainly because Li Luochen feared he'd hit Tang San too hard and kill him, which would have been a nightmare. The quarterfinals begin. New Divine Wind Academy vs Heaven Dao Royal Academy. The match begins. The Heaven Dao Royal team remains Tang San's strongest lineup. Due to the pressure of the high-level Spirit Master competition and the hidden injuries discovered by the Heaven Dao Royal family, they have undergone extensive treatment. Tang San's spirit power has now reached level 45. He possesses the external spirit bone, the 8 spider lance, the 4th spirit ring dropped, the same one from the 6,000-year-old one in Sunset Forest, and twin martial spirits. Tang San is confident he possesses the power of a Soul King. Furthermore, all the team members have reached the Soul Master level. The weakest, Ru Sai, has barely passed level 40. The Education Committee personally provided her with a 4,000-year-old spirit beast to hunt. Furthermore, Tang San now possesses a secret weapon. He is confident he can sweep the competition, whether it's Shrek Academy or the Spirit Hall Academy, he is confident he can defeat them. On the new Divine Wind Academy side, Feng Zai Ocean stood at the forefront, flanked by Ho Wuxiang, and behind him were the 2 support spirit masters, Ho Wu and Chihuo. Feng Zai Ocean, lift off, Ho Wu shouted, and Feng Zai Ocean spread his swift wings and soared into the air. Third soul skill, sparks like rain, X2. The 2 fire-attributed supporters began to amplify their powers, while Ho Wu began to fuse her soul energy, transferring it to Feng Zai Ocean. A double fusion technique, 2 support amplified Ho Wu Soul Masters and Feng Zai Ocean performing a double fusion technique. Feng Zai Ocean's aura had reached the level of a Soul Emperor, wind-fueled fire, fire-fed wind. This was the new lineup developed by the new Kamikaze team, originally designed to counter Shrek Academy and the Spirit Hall Academy. Now, facing the formidable Xiandao Royal team, they had no choice but to employ this strategy. Tang San, watching the scene before him, was also suddenly extremely nervous. He knew Feng Zai Ocean's strength. In the past, when he and Feng Zai Ocean had dueled one-on-one, he had only managed to draw due to the advantage of his twin spirits. Now, facing a Feng Zai Ocean like this, he was no match. Team Sky Dao. 7-1, Tang San shouted, and the rest of the Sky Dao team lined up, transferring their spirit power to Tang San. Instantly, Tang San could sense the spirit power of his companions. This was the knowledge Yu Zaigang had shared with Tang San, the 7-in-1 fusion technique, a derivative of the Golden Triangle's Tri-in-1 martial soul fusion technique. It was pure luck, but Tang San's experiment had succeeded. The 7-in-1 fusion technique could unleash formidable combat power. This was Tang San's trump card. Then, Tang San drew his Clear Sky Hammer. He transferred all 7 members' spirit power to the Clear Sky Hammer. The latest novel is now available on the 69th book bar. Feng Zai Ocean, naturally witnessing Tang San and the others perform the 7-in-1 fusion technique, immediately decided to deal with the support type Ru Sai first, as she held the key to stabilizing the 7-in-1 fusion technique. 36 consecutive slashes of the Wind Wolf, Ru Sai's face was now pale, blood still smearing the corners of her mouth. Without the secret techniques of the 7 Treasures Glazed Tile sect, attempting to stabilize the fusion ring and the 7-in-1 fusion technique was a complete joke. The original timeline's perfect 7-in-1 fusion technique was only possible because of Ning Rongrong. Ning Rongrong was now well at Shrek Academy, and Ning Fengzi had no connection to Tang San. Performing the fusion technique as in the original timeline would have been extremely difficult. Tang San naturally observed Feng Zai Ocean's movements. His subtle purple demon eyes were fixed on Feng Zai Ocean. He hurled the Clear Sky Hammer. The hammer didn't rotate at all, simply charging straight in one direction. As the blow was unleashed, a thunderous roar echoed from the clear sky hammer. The originally small hammer suddenly swelled in the air, its head instantly becoming as thick as a water tank. Magnificent patterns emanated from the hammer under the sunlight, and a terrifying aura emanated from it, accompanied by a dense black light, trailing a trail of black flame in the air. Boom! The black clear sky hammer and the incandescent Fengzai ocean collided with each other in midair, and the piercing sound of shattering echoed throughout Wuhan City. The shattering began with the wings. Fengzai Ocean's right wing was almost instantly reduced to nothing. At the same time, his incandescent armor was also shattered, turning into tiny specks of white light and instantly crumbling. Fengzai Ocean screamed miserably, and under the huge momentum, he was thrown into the air. Just when he was about to be thrown out of the competition field, Flanders suddenly lightened his footing and arrived at Fengzai Ocean's flight path, catching Fengzai Ocean who was about to fly away. Ahem, thank you, Your Majesty. Fengzai Ocean was still somewhat conscious at this time. He barely said thank you and then fainted. Chapter 215 Tang San's internal injuries worsened. Seeing Fengzai Ocean flying out and being rescued, the 6 students from the Xinfeng Academy, including Ho Wu, were stunned. They could never have imagined that their captain, Fengzai Ocean, could be so vulnerable. Even in the one-on-one battle with Tang San, it had been a prolonged, undecided battle, yet now, he was defeated in a single encounter? Without Fengzai Ocean, the match was no longer in doubt, but they were puzzled as to why this had happened. In reality, the spirit power of 7 people was greater than that of 4. Tang San had carefully studied Fengzai Ocean's Wind Wolf 36 consecutive slashes and understood his weaknesses, enabling him to secure a single victory. As an outsider, Li Luochen felt that Fengzai Ocean was a complete waste of talent. Self-created spirit skills are usually created after reaching a high level of strength, or after a profound realization. Or perhaps, like Li Luochen, they developed these skills through countless slaughters in the Slaughter City. Otherwise, creating spirit skills at a low level was a complete waste of time. For example, Li Luochen's current favorite, the ring-melting soul skill, was effortlessly created after his profound strength. He originally had the idea, but simply hadn't put it into practice. With a low level of cultivation, practicing it would surely lead to his own demise. On the field, the clear sky hammer that had sent Fengzai Ocean flying had reappeared in Tang San's left hand. The hammer hadn't returned to its original size. Now, held in Tang San's grasp, it was even larger than he was, yet surprisingly stable in his left hand. The new Divine Wind Academy, of course, refused to give up. Ho Wusheng and 2 other Divine Wind Academy members charged out simultaneously, while Ho Wu behind them began gathering strength for a second attack. Tang San closed his eyes and slowly raised the massive clear sky hammer with a single hand. The vast light patterns on the hammer suddenly erupted, a dazzling dark golden glow. At that moment, an incredibly powerful voice roared madly, and Tang San, like the hammer's handle, seemed to have become one with the clear sky hammer. Weapon Soul True Body, Soul Masters above the Soul Sage level in the stands gasped in surprise. After reaching level 70, a Soul Master possessing a Beast Spirit, upon acquiring their 7th Spirit Ring and 7th Spirit Skill, will inevitably become their Spirit True Body. This embodies their spirit's true form, imbued with immense explosive power and exponentially enhanced strength. However, the situation for Weapon Soul Masters is slightly different. Their 7th Spirit Skill is their Weapon Soul True Body. Using their own weapon spirit, they maximize the power of their weapon spirit. If possessing a formidable weapon spirit, the unleashing of their Weapon Soul True Body will be even more terrifying than their Spirit True Body. Before level 70, Beast Soul Masters are undoubtedly stronger than non-controlled type Weapon Soul Masters. However, after reaching level 70, Weapon Soul Masters, with their Weapon Soul True Body, actually surpass them. Who could have imagined that in the semifinals of the Continental Advanced Soul Master Academy Elite Competition, a Weapon Soul True Body, so rare in the Soul Master world, would appear? And the weapon soul activated was the Clear Sky Hammer, known as the continent's premier weapon spirit. In truth, even Tang San himself hadn't anticipated being able to unleash the might of his Weapon Soul True Avatar. When his spirit power surged past level 70 and he wielded the Clear Sky Hammer, he acted almost subconsciously. However, in Li Luochen's eyes, Tang San's actions were nothing but self-destruction. A soul sect level warrior, he thought, was attempting to unleash his Weapon Soul True Avatar? What was he thinking? Could his body withstand it? Meanwhile, Li Yusong had quietly telegraphed to Long Zhenshan, who was watching from the shadows. Elder Long, if this brat doesn't stop after defeating the Divine Wind Academy, please intervene and stop him from harming the other students. Long Zhenshan naturally heard him. After all, he was a titled Douluo from the Spirit Hall, and this tournament was the quarterfinals, not even the semifinals. Therefore, the Pope and the elders were absent. Long Zhenshan had no choice but to take action. This made sense, and since Tang San didn't have Tang Hao to protect him, asking him to stop would undoubtedly backfire. At this moment, Tang San himself was enveloped in a layer of dark golden light, his aura becoming indistinguishable from the clear sky hammers. Tang San raised his hammer and pointed, and a dark golden shadow instantly expanded in front of him, a shadow of the clear sky hammer seemingly magnified infinitely. With a resounding roar, Ho Wusheng and the other three, who were charging ahead, were practically hurled off the field. In the face of the terrifying hammer shadow, even Ho Wu and the other two support-type spirit masters were hurled back like rolling gourds. They couldn't even muster the chance to launch another attack, let alone use their spirit abilities, or even offer any resistance. Fortunately, they were caught by the teachers from their own academies, otherwise, if they had been sent flying again, they would have been seriously injured. The teachers from both academies looked at Tang San with hatred in their eyes. This Tang San truly lacked martial ethics. While he certainly didn't kill people in the competition, he loved to maim them. He had caused the most injuries in competitions. With such malicious intent at such a young age, who knows what he'll become in the future, becoming a titled Douluo. Therefore, it's best to destroy him before he matures. Tang San, who originally wielded the clear sky hammer with one hand, now wielded it with both. For some reason, even though he had already defeated his opponent, a powerful desire now surged within him. The urge to unleash the clear sky hammer's full power, to unleash it with the chaos cloak hammer technique, was unwavering. Even though the Kamikaze Academy had been depleted of their combat effectiveness, Tang San still wanted to strike. Clear sky hammer. Chaos cloak. Tang San raised the massive clear sky hammer, savoring the exhilaration of power, unaware that his meridians had been damaged again, and hidden injuries that hadn't fully healed began to flare up. It was just that Tang San was in such a delicate state that he couldn't notice it. Stop! A loud shout erupted, and the sky immediately became overcast with dark clouds, followed by a distant dragon's roar. The latest novel is being released on the 69th Book Forum. A black dragon suddenly blocked the Haoshan sect's Haoshan true body and knocked Tang San's Haoshan true body back into his body. Tang San, interrupted by the powerful attack, suffered a backlash from his weapon soul true body, vomiting blood. His soul power and mental energy were sapped, and he immediately exited his weapon soul true body state and fell to the ground, nearly fainting. The rest of the Xiandao royal team was also affected. Ru Xie bled from all 7 orifices and fainted, but the other 5 were fine. In the sky, an old man with white hair and a white beard, a youthful face, stood in the void. He wore a black robe underneath, and the red robes of the Spirit Hall elders were worn above. Embroidered on the robe was a massive black dragon, unmistakably the tyrant dragon. "Your Majesty Tyrant," everyone exclaimed. After all, this His Majesty was a formidable figure. He had previously defeated and severely damaged Thunder Douluo Yuanzhen, and had subsequently broken through to level 95. Now, Long Zhenshan's strength was even more unfathomable. It's the Spirit Master competition, and young Spirit Masters should be focusing on sparring with each other. Why, after winning, did you resort to violence? Reports from various Spirit Master academies indicate you've repeatedly injured your opponents. How can you be so vicious at such a young age? Considering your youth and the misleading influence of a mediocre teacher, I'm cutting off 3 of your fingers as punishment. With a flick of his finger, Long Zhenshan completely obliterated Tang San's right index and middle fingers, as well as his left index finger. These bruises also possessed a dark attribute, rendering them incurable even for a healing title Douluo. Tang San fainted from the pain. With 3 of his vital fingers destroyed, how could he ever perform his hidden weapon techniques again? Chapter 216, Great Harvest, the Pope and the Elders. Tang San's having 3 fingers crippled by Tyrant Douluo was a welcome relief, but some felt it was unpleasant, suggesting that Tyrant Douluo should have slapped the bastard to death. However, for the playful Li Yusong, it was just the right amount. Tang San's specialty was launching hidden weapons with his fingers, with the index and middle fingers being crucial for a delicate technician like him. He wouldn't be able to fire high-end hidden weapons anymore, and his accuracy with ordinary weapons would be greatly reduced. Crafting mechanical hidden weapons would also be incredibly difficult, considering Tang San had been throwing weapons with all 5 fingers since his previous life. Decades of hard work had been wasted. The thought of Tang San using his thumb and ring finger to throw was hilarious. I wonder how much of a blow this would be to Tang San. After all, not everyone can be strong-willed despite a disability. And he has a teacher who is both physically and mentally weak. I'm excited to see what kind of fun he'll have next. The match is over. The Heaven Dou Royal team wins. While the Heaven Dou Royal team triumphed, it came at a heavy price. Support Ru Xi's mental energy was severely depleted, and the other members suffered significant injuries, especially Tang San's. The 3 finalists had been decided: Shrek Academy, Spirit Hall Academy, and the Heaven Dou Royal team. At night, in the Heaven Dou Royal team's hotel, Tang San awoke faintly, feeling excruciating pain all over his body. As he struggled to his feet, he could no longer feel 3 of his fingers. Shocked, Tang San quickly used his spirit power to shatter the bandages on his hands. The index and middle fingers on his right hand were missing, and the index finger on his left was missing. My fingers. Damn you, Spirit Hall. My fingers are broken. How can I use the Tang sect's hidden weapons? How can I create hidden weapons against the Spirit Hall? Damn you, Spirit Hall. You've blocked my path, you've killed my father, you all deserve to die. Tang San could only rage helplessly. In the shadows, Li Luochen watched with great delight. He had come early, wanting to see Tang San's utter disgrace. However, when he arrived, Tang San was unconscious. Li Luochen suddenly remembered something: the mysterious heavenly treasure record. I wondered if Tang San had copied it? Li Luochen then began to look through Tang San's 24 bridges on moonlit night, and he actually found it: the 100 solutions to hidden weapons, the mysterious heavenly treasure record, the Tang sect's poison scripture, and Tang San's 3 most powerful mechanical hidden weapons, which he had already completely mapped: the Buddha's Wrath Tanglian, the Stormy Pear Blossom, and the Peacock Feather. Of course, there was also this huge divine crossbow and the mother and child soul-chasing gallbladder. The Zuanshan treasure record records the Tang clan's unique skills: the Zuanshan Guang, the Purple Demon Eye, the Mysterious Jade Hand, the Crane Control and Dragon Capture, and the Ghost Shadow. However, Tang San is quite cunning. These aren't written in Douluo Continent script, but rather some kind of ancient Chinese, similar to the traditional Chinese characters of ancient China. Li Luochen needs to research and translate these unique skills. After a brief reading, he prioritizes the Zuanshan Guang, checking to see if it contains the 8 extraordinary meridians. Tang San finds some. Though he may not recognize the characters, but he can still count them. If the Zuanshan Guang can be edited, then the rest of the skills are intact. Li Luochen then plans to fully distribute the Zuanshan Guang, allowing the Spirit Hall to spread it throughout the continent. This would eliminate Tang San's advantage. As for Li Luochen's own Zhaoshan Wuji Guang, while its name is impressive, it still has some shortcomings. Li Luochen plans to combine it with the Zuanshan Guang and improve it. Li Luochen had reaped a bounty of rewards tonight and teleported away. He paid no mind to the clown, Tang San. Tang San's life-defining items had already been plundered, leaving the rest of his possessions insignificant. After Li Luochen's departure, Tang San, furious for a moment, calmed down and pulled out a brocade pouch from the 24 bridges moonlit night. It was a spirit guide for storing living creatures, given to him by Yu Gang. From it, Tang San pulled out a green giant mushroom. 6th grade green Ganoderma. Now is the time to use it. Its medicinal properties should heal my damaged meridians. After calming down, Tang San realized he was riddled with wounds and needed immediate treatment. He had been incredibly lucky when he obtained his 4th spirit ring, stumbling upon a 6th grade green Ganoderma. Others mistook it for a mushroom, but Tang San had a keen eye. As soon as Tang San plucked it, a 30,000-year-old earth demon spider emerged from the ground. Fortunately, with the presence of Sol Daoluo's Hilin, he fought off the earth demon spider, allowing Tang San to successfully harvest this rare treasure. After swallowing the 6th grade green Ganoderma, Tang San's body first glowed green, then a blue-gold light. Both the hidden and external injuries within his body slowly healed, though the missing finger hadn't grown back. Unfortunately, Tang San's injuries were too severe. The intense training had inflicted numerous internal injuries, which, while somewhat healed, remained. He was now suffering from the backlash of his weapon spirit's true form and the backlash of his fusion technique. These injuries were no longer something the 6th grade green Ganoderma could heal. Furthermore, Tang Sen, believing Yu Xiaogang's advice, absorbed a poison-attributed spirit ring, causing the Blue-Silver Emperor's bloodline to become tangled and its self-healing ability to decline. Although Tang Sen felt well, the hidden injuries remained, merely accumulating within him, waiting for the straw that broke the camel's back. After a day's rest, the 3 major teams stood before the Pope's palace. All 3 teams appeared to be in excellent condition. With the exception of Rusidai, who looked pale, the rest of the Heaven Dao royal team was in good shape. Tang Sen, the leader, had a rosy complexion and looked incredibly healthy. The finals were just around the corner, and they were all just one step away from the championship. Bright sunlight bathed the earth, illuminating the papal palace with a radiant splendor, resembling a divine abode. In front of the papal palace, 2 rows of palace guards stretched from the entrance to the foot of the mountain. Their gleaming silver armor and heavy knightly swords lent the entire papal mountain an even greater awe. The eliminated teams had already departed, not even allowed to witness the final day's battles. Only the truly powerful young warriors were worthy of setting foot in the square in front of the papal palace. Early in the morning, the 3 teams that advanced to the final 3 appeared in front of the papal palace, quietly awaiting their turn. Teachers from the 3 academies were not allowed to stand in the square and had to wait outside. The Shrek team, led by Ma Hongjin and Oscar, wore a relaxed expression and maintained a low profile, seemingly unobtrusive. The Spirit Hall Academy team, led by Ziyu and Hulina, were the most relaxed, yet their eyes gleamed with faith in the Spirit Hall and faith in the Pope. However, Hulina, looking at the Shrek team's teacher, didn't see Li Yusong, and a feeling of sadness settled within her. The latest novel is being released on the 69th Book Forum. The square in front of the Pope's palace was no smaller than the arena used in previous competitions. The square was paved with special stones. Upon closer inspection, one could see a faint, lustrous sheen. While not genuine jade, they were certainly not comparable to ordinary rock. This demonstrated the formidable financial resources of the Spirit Hall. A group of 12 cardinals, second only to the Platinum Cardinal, emerged from the side entrance of the Pope's palace. They slowly approached. They reached the entrance and stood on either side, 6 on each side. The leader shouted, "His Majesty has arrived, long live! Long live! Long live!" The knights' voices resounded in unison. The massive palace gates slowly opened, the emblems on the 2 doors gradually deviating from their path. A stunning figure emerged, draped head to toe in a dazzling golden gown, crowned with a purple gold crown, and clutching a scepter. Bibi Dong, with a solemn expression, was the first to exit the Pope's palace. She possessed an ethereal presence, seemingly infinitely tall. Behind her, 7 figures followed. 6 of them wore bright red gowns. Unlike the all-red regalia of a cardinal, these were inlaid with gold and silver patterns, and the gleaming golden gemstone on the chest, the size of a baby's fist, imbued them with an air of extravagance. For ordinary people, these gowns might simply symbolize nobility, but for spirit masters, they held the greatest honor, as only titled Douluo could wear them. Clearly, these 6 individuals possessed such status. Among them, the 2 Spirit Hall elders, Ju Douluo and Ghost Douluo, were relatively familiar. Standing to Bibi Dong's left were Ning Fengzi, the leader of the 7 Treasures Glazed Tile sect, and Jian Douluo, the protector of the sect. To the far right stood Feng Ying Douluo of Flanders, who had previously unleashed a 100,000-year spirit ring in the Heaven Dao arena. To his left was Yu Luomian, the new leader of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex sect. These individuals were veteran masters, readily recognizable to any knowledgeable spirit master. They were already renowned. But the most jaw-dropping moment was the young man standing to Bibi Dong's right. He wore 2 different hues, a bright red titled Douluo Elder robe, and underneath, a navy blue teacher's uniform from Shrek Academy. He had a handsome face, with long black hair tied into a ponytail with 9 gradient colors. A gentle smile graced his face, giving him a carefree demeanor. This young man is the leader of the Shrek Academy team, Li Yusong. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 217 Elder Li Yusong, a tough guy? The Sky Dou Royal team, some members of the Shrek team, and the Spirit Hall Academy team were all stunned. They all knew this Li Yusong, the continent's youngest and most talented spirit master, yet he wore a formal attire reserved for titled Douluo. Could he already be a titled Douluo? Oh my god, that was truly terrifying. But the Spirit Hall had already acquiesced, meaning Li Yusong truly was a titled Douluo, and yet he was only 20 years old. Li Yusong's thinking was simple. He was already level 89, and would soon break through to titled Douluo. Once he absorbed the dragon pill and condensed his 9th spirit ring, he would be invincible below the gods. What was there to fear? The Azure God was his backdrop. The Azure God wouldn't want him dead, so what was there to fear about Li Yusong? And Li Yusong felt that he was too low-key, which was why people always liked to bully Shrek City. Haha, this time, he'd just call it a day. Li Yusong, was just that strong. 2 black-robed figures in the distance watched the Pope and the elders emerge. One of them, a short, frail man, suddenly spoke. Your Majesty, this Li Yusong is already the Haotian sect's #1 enemy. This time, while you're taking Xiao away, take him down as well. I don't believe he's already a titled Douluo. Last time, he only had 8 spirit rings. I guess he's barely there. And he possesses 400,000 year spirit rings, which should give him 4 spirit bones. That would be very beneficial for you and Xiao. This man was Yu Xiaogang. Seeing Li Yusong standing next to Bibi Dong, he felt a surge of jealousy. Okay, I understand. Master, please stay away and wait for me on the hill outside Spirit City. I probably won't be able to take care of you if a fight breaks out. The tall, black-robed man was Tang Xiao. He was now level 96, confident that a sneak attack could kill Li Yusong, leaving Spirit Hall unable to rescue him. He hadn't originally planned to do so, but upon seeing his brother's body, he couldn't bear it anymore. He decided to take some profit. Anyway, Spirit Hall won't attack the Clear Sky sect, we have an agreement. Yu Xiaogang left after hearing this, her eyes gleaming with a dark aura so depraved and evil that Bibi Dong, already in a good mood, suddenly noticed it. Where does this resentment come from? It's weak, but incredibly disgusting. Never mind, let's watch the competition first. It's finally time to test our results. Below the stage, Hulina's eyes gleamed as she watched Li Yusong. He looked so handsome in his formal attire, and even the face-obsessed Hulina was struck once again. Back at Shrek Academy, many students saw Li Yusong, their eyes filled with pride. This was the director who personally taught us. His status was truly high. Only 3 types of people could exit the main gate of the Pope's Hall. The first, naturally, was the Pope. The second was a titled Douluo who had proven themselves through their prowess. And the third was a Spirit Hall elder. Besides these 3, even the Platinum Bishop and the Emperors of the 2 empires were ineligible to enter or exit this gate. However, Ning Fengzi did qualify to exit through this gate. He held another title, a Spirit Hall elder. More precisely, an honorary elder. He was the 7 Treasures Glazed Tile Sect's patriarch, Ning Fengzi. Of course, Du Yuan was also worthy of donning the red robe and standing there. And the Spirit Hall even custom-made her a titled Douluo dress. However, she didn't care, she was currently raising the children. Jin Ringsu was pretending to be Zhu King, and the task of raising Li Chengqian fell to her. As for Flender, he hadn't wanted to be there either. However, Li Yusong explained the stakes to him and asked him to demonstrate the authority of a titled Douluo. At least, the point was that Shrek Academy's dean, Wind Eagle Douluo, was a Spirit Hall elder, and who would dare to touch him? What Li Yusong hadn't expected was Yu Luomian's presence. Liu Erlong was also stunned to see her father there. Extreme Thunder Douluo? Not bad at all. Li Yusong sensed that Yu Luomian's strength had now reached level 95. Such a rapid improvement was likely due to the absorption of spirit bones. Judging from his aura alone, Yu Luomian's strength was no less than that of Yu Yuan's Hun at peak strength. Veteran titled Douluo were indeed powerful. After so many years of achieving titled Douluo status, he certainly couldn't compare to level 95 level just broken through, fueled by the accumulation of spirit ring and spirit bone energy. Of course, Yu Luomian would only grow stronger over time. Why did Yu Luomian come this time? First, to support the Spirit Hall. After all, Ning Fengzi of the 7 Treasures Glazed Tile sect was also present, and 2 of the 3 upper sects were already watching the competition at the Spirit Hall, and they were elders. Second, to watch his eldest grandson compete. He heard that Yu Xiangxin performed very well this time. If Ma Hongjian, Oscar, and Zhu Zhuqing hadn't stepped up, Yu Xiangxin would have been the strongest team member. Yu Luomian was naturally delighted with his grandson's growth. Now that Yu Xiangxin had reached the peak of level 48, the high-pressure environment of the competition had boosted the spirit power of all the participating team members. The Spirit Hall and Shrek teams were both very happy and in high spirits. Meanwhile, Tang San glared at the Yondao team. He would remember these people on the stage, for they all had their own way to death. Suddenly, the 7 members of the Spirit Hall Academy team knelt on one knee before the Pope on the stage, their right hands placed on their left chests, in standard Spirit Master etiquette. The Shrek team, a bit stunned by the Spirit Hall Academy's sudden kneeling, were surprised. Ma Hongjian and Oscar were the first to kneel, but they knelt before Li Luochen. Of course, Li Luochen and Bibi Dong were standing close enough for others to notice. Then, the Shrek Academy team members knelt one after another. Yu Xiangxin and Ning Rongrong, originally from the upper 3 sects, had initially been reluctant to kneel before others. However, they recalled something Oscar had said during the previous night's gathering. If we meet the Pope tomorrow, we'll still kneel down swiftly. I know you're of noble status, but kneeling before a powerful being is perfectly normal. Our Director Li did the same thing back then. Director Li also knelt swiftly when he met the Pope. Afterwards, Director Li told us that in the Spirit Master world, the strong are respected, and you can't deny their respect. A powerful person doesn't need a reason to strike, they just need to see you're not happy. As Director Li famously said, the more courtesy, the less blame, it's in our Academy's rules. You're merely of noble status and slightly more talented, but you're not truly powerful. Only by growing up can you perhaps earn respect. Oscar's words prompted this distinguished individual to kneel as well. Seeing Ning Rongrong and Yu Xiangxin kneel, Zhu Zhuqing, Yi Lingling, Yang Wu, and Niu Dun all followed suit. Performing the standard Spirit Master etiquette, Dai Mubei lost his focus. He noticed his teammates kneeling, stunned. Not wanting to disrupt the formation, he knelt as well. The Shrek Academy team's uneven kneeling brought a sigh of relief to Li Luochen on the stage. Bibi Dong is so powerful right now. Don't mess with me, or I'll be the one in trouble. Bibi Dong opened her eyes and looked at the talented Spirit Masters in the audience, all saluting respectfully. She was particularly pleased, especially since the Shrek team, led by Li Luochen, had also saluted. After all, in Bibi Dong's opinion, this brat, Li Luochen, was impeccable in terms of etiquette. She was pleased, both as Pope and mother-in-law, but she disliked his philandering. Bibi Dong glanced around, her euphoria abruptly fading as her hand unconsciously tightened its grip on her scepter. The title Douluo on the stage, sensing the Pope's shift in mood, glanced in Bibi Dong's direction, only to spot someone standing out from the crowd. Following the Spirit Hall Academy's kneeling, the Heaven Dao Royal Academy quickly and in unison followed suit. With the exception of Tang San, the remaining 6 knelt. While they had families and considerable influence, they couldn't afford to provoke the Spirit Hall, so they had to bow down. The latest novels are published on the 69th Book Forum. Tang San was the only one who was different. He wouldn't bow before the Pope. It wasn't because of his Haitian sect background or anything else, but rather because of his inherent pride. In his heart, the only people he could kneel to were his father and teacher. As for others, even the emperor, what did they matter? The title Douluo on the stage looked at Tang San, standing upright, and wondered, is he stupid? If everyone else didn't kneel, the Pope might not have made a scene, but you're the only one standing out like that? It looks like you're going to suffer. While there's no explicit requirement for Spirit Masters to bow to the Spirit Hall Pope, at this moment, Tang San undoubtedly stood out like a maverick. Bibi Dong's gaze fell directly on the young man, and all the Spirit Hall members glared at Tang San. Zhu Daoluo Yu Guan, standing behind Bibi Dong, purred her lips at Bibi Dong, and Bibi Dong's gaze instantly locked onto Tang San. The moment her gaze settled on Tang San, he felt as if his soul were being ripped from his body. His body trembled slightly, and he was forced to immediately activate his own purple demon eye. How dare you disrespect the Pope? The cardinal, who had previously bowed, shouted angrily. Purple gold light emanated from his eyes, reaching several inches, but it still couldn't resist Bibi Dong's gaze. Blood first began to seep from Tang San's eyes, followed by blood from his nose and mouth. However, he remained upright, truly resilient. Tang San didn't possess the mustard seed realm purple demon eye at this point, only the peak of the microscopic realm. Bibi Dong, on the other hand, had reached the 99th level. A single glance from her nearly destroyed Tang San's purple demon eye. HMPH, Bibi Dong snorted coldly. Tang San felt as if his brain had exploded. He spat out a mouthful of blood, oozing from all his orifices. He collapsed to the ground in disarray. Both the Shrek and Sky Dou teams were startled, then finally understood the principle of courtesy. Daimube was thankful he had knelt, otherwise things would have been much more troublesome. The Spirit Hall Academy was overjoyed. How dare you disrespect His Holiness the Pope? You've been spoiled. Bibi Dong's heart was now clear and she had long since let go of the past. She had seen Yusong many times, and the more she saw him, the more she found him a clown, a disgusting sight. Then, after reviewing the events of the past, she realized that Yusong had been deceiving her from the very beginning. The so-called theoretical master was nothing more than a book about solving his own problems, a solace for his inability to cultivate. Bibi Dong felt truly blind to fall for such a jerk. Unattractive, incompetent, and irresponsible, a coward. Now Tang San, Yusong's disciple, had dared to disrespect her. Of course, he must be punished. Li Luochen was delighted to see it. His mother-in-law was truly a mother-in-law, having shaken off her love brain with remarkable alacrity. It was truly a good show. It would have been even more entertaining if Yusong had been there. It was a shame he couldn't see it. However, it seemed Bibi Dong had just struck a bit too hard, and Tang San had fainted. That was a bit of a joke. Then Li Luochen sent a voice message to Bibi Dong. Chapter 218 Yusong still dares to come? Li Luochen suddenly transmitted a message to Bibi Dong. Bibi Dong's brow furrowed, then relaxed. Bibi Dong didn't linger over Tang San, who lay like a dead dog, for long. She waved her staff gently. Stand up. All those kneeling on the ground rose to their feet. A faint smile crossed Bibi Dong's face, and her gaze swept from left to right across the dozens of young spirit masters competing in the finals. I see hope in you. Before the Pope's palace, I hope to witness your full talent and strength. The ultimate victor will receive the Spirit Hall's greatest reward. As she spoke, she gently waved her staff. No one could see how she did it. 3 points of light instantly magnified before Bibi Dong, floating in midair. They were 3 distinct objects, small and skeletal in shape, a right arm bone, a skull, and a left leg bone. They shimmered with fiery red, pale blue, and dark green light. Soul bones, those were indeed 3 soul bones. Even at the foot of Pope Mountain, the radiance of the 3 soul bones could be clearly seen. For a moment, the entire spirit city was in a state of complete excitement. Aside from those who knew about the final reward, who could have imagined that there would be 3 soul bones? The radiance revealed the exceptional quality of these 3 soul bones. Even the Spirit Hall's members were filled with greed. If this weren't the Pope's Hall, if it weren't for the intimidating presence of several titled Douluo, some would have rushed to snatch them up, driven by their greed. These were soul bones. For a soul master, they were the most precious treasures. They were hard to come by. Soul bones also had different levels of quality, and their quality was paramount. The higher the level of the soul bone, the greater its effectiveness. Of course, this did not include external soul bones. While the 3 soul bones Pope Bibi Dong presented didn't include the most precious torso soul bone, they did include a skull. The right arm bone was second only to the skull and torso bones in terms of preciousness. Even the left leg bone, the worst of the 6, was not the least valuable of the 6 soul bones. These 3 soul bones were clearly from soul beasts over 10,000 years old. For soul masters, they were truly supreme. Ghost Douluo, standing behind the Pope, spoke in a deep voice. The 3 soul bones are the wisdom skull of condensed spirit, the right arm of exploding flames, and the left leg of chasing the wind. These 3 soul bones all come from 10,000-year-old soul beasts. The wisdom skull of condensed spirit comes from a soul beast over 50,000 years old, personally slain by the previous Pope. It is the pinnacle of soul bones, second only to external soul bones and the top soul bones produced by 100,000-year-old soul beasts. Bibi Dong said calmly, there can only be one winner, and the same is true for the champion. Therefore, these 3 soul bones will belong to the final champion team. I hope that the 3 academies that have made it to the top 3 will give their all to achieve this honor. Soul masters of all ranks, regardless of their rank, glowed at the sight of soul bones, let alone 3. A fierce fighting spirit instantly surged from the dozens of participating soul masters. However, Mohongjin and Oscar from Shrek Academy weren't quite as eager to fight. They each possessed 3 soul bones, each perfectly suited to their respective abilities, and they weren't greedy. Hulina wasn't particularly greedy either, though she lacked a head soul bone. Her wisdom skull, a 60,000-year-old spiritual concentration, was a perfect match for her, a reward from her teacher for winning the competition. Bibi Dong continued, "This morning, you 3 teams will each enter the individual elimination rounds, each with 7 players. The remaining team will take the lead and advance directly to the championship tomorrow. The 2 losing teams will compete for another spot on the finals this afternoon." Elder Li Luochen recently felt that a one-on-one match might not fully utilize the team lineup, so he's holding a 3-way free-for-all this afternoon, canceling the individual rounds. The audience was stunned. Elder Li Luochen had actually suggested to the Pope that the schedule be changed, and even that outrageous 3-way free-for-all was in order. How impressive. The Sky Dou Royal team cheered up a bit. Tang San should be sober enough for the afternoon match, and they could just hold the match then. The match then ended, and Bibi Dong glanced at Li Luochen before leaving. The title Douluo on the field also left. As for why Li Luochen suddenly changed the match requirements? Was it because his spiritual power had sensed a mysterious creature? How dare this creature come to the spirit hall? An unexpected person suddenly arrived at the Sky Dou Royal Team Hotel, Uzia Gang. He hadn't left as Tang Zio had instructed, but instead had come to the Sky Dou Royal Team to see his disciple. He knew his disciple had made it to the finals and might even win the championship. Uzia Gang couldn't calm down. He felt safe within the spirit hall. Bibi Dong probably still remembered their old friendship, and he possessed the Pope's order. As long as he didn't offend any title Douluo, he would be fine. Uzia Gang arrived at Tang San's room on crutches. Having been on the move for a while since his broken leg, he had gotten used to being on one leg. Uzia knocked on the door, but no one opened it. Finally, he went straight in and found Tang San lying there. He felt a pang of heartache. After all, this disciple was his only hope. Oh, and as a teacher, he hadn't given Tang San a surprise yet. Tang San's greatest strength was his twin spirits, the Clear Sky Hammer, each endowed with 10,000-year spirit rings. Just thinking about it was terrifying. Uzia then wrote a letter and placed it beside Tang San's bed before opening the door and leaving. A few steps away, he was spotted by the leader, formerly deputy leader, of the Heaven Dou Royal Team. This FW dared to come? He left tactfully. If he dares to come again, I'll show him how powerful I am. Meanwhile, Uzia hurried toward the Pope's palace. Inside the Pope's palace. Why did you suddenly tamper with the rules? Although the finals are hosted by the Spirit Hall, you need to give me a reasonable explanation for such a casual tampering. Bibi Dong narrowed her eyes slightly, as if pretending to be blind, while Li Luochen massaged Bibi Dong's shoulders. The latest novel is now live on the 6th Book Forum. Humble Liziali is trying to please his mother-in-law online. Of course, it's just for fun. Mother-in-law, you should know that Tang San is Tang Hao's son, right? He has twin spirits, Li Luochen said with a grin, not daring to stop his movements. Of course. How could I not know that? What are you thinking? Bibi Dong was puzzled. Report to His Holiness the Pope. The wind god has arrived, the guard suddenly shouted, and Bibi Dong and Li Luochen heard it, but Li Luochen didn't leave. Yu Xianshang knew about their relationship. Let him in, Bibi Dong said, resting her head on one hand, enjoying a relaxing shoulder and neck massage from her son-in-law. I didn't expect this kid to be such a versatile person. Soon, a Saiyan figure arrived. Tall and slightly thin, he was incredibly handsome. A white paper fan might give him a more charming look. Hey, Sister Dong, what did you ask me to do? Yu Xiansheng said nonchalantly. Sister Dong? 6, old you know how to address people. You're a generation older than me, after all. I treat you like a big brother, and you're calling me uncle? Li Luochen internally grumbled furiously. Come on, it's okay to call me that in private, but in public, you should use your professional title, Bibi Dong corrected him with a wave of her hand. Okay, Sister Dong. No problem, Sister Dong. Li Luochen, 6, you must have been a purple toad spirit in your previous life. I'm here to discuss something important with you. Bibi Dong was interrupted before she could finish. Your Holiness. Someone claiming to be a master has requested to see you, holding a papal decree, the guard announced again. Li Luochen, massaging Bibi Dong's shoulders and neck, could clearly sense her rising anger. What Bibi Dong hated most was being interrupted. It was like someone was going to get into trouble. Li Luochen and Yu Xianshang had the same idea. How dare this FW come? Chapter 219 Anus, darkening again. Bibi Dong's anger was rising. Li Luochen quietly released his hand and stood behind her, acting as a guard. Let him in, Bibi Dong exhaled, then said. Li Luochen also wanted to see if this Douluo Continent's #1 love-brained, Yandir, love-brained man had changed. Not long after, a man of medium build, slightly thin, looking to be in his 40s or 50s, with short black hair parted in the middle, appeared ordinary. With his hands behind his back, he exuded an uncanny aura, his eyes opening and closing with a strange, decadent look. His mouth was rather large, his lips thick, and his facial muscles seemed a bit stiff, making his smile somewhat unflattering. Most importantly, he was missing a leg and came in on crutches. This man was Yu Xiaogang. Li Luochen noticed that Yu Xiaogang had actually taken care of herself this time, looking a bit more refreshed. Tisk, was it her beauty? Li Luochen looked at Bibi Dong. Bibi Dong's hands did involuntarily clench a little, and her brow furrowed when she saw Yu Xiaoong, but it quickly relaxed. Yu Xiaoong, in turn, looked at Bibi Dong, her indifferent gaze now filled with something more, apology, reminiscence, and, more than anything, disappointment. Bibi Dong, too, seemed to be recalling something, but suddenly, as if struck by something, she shuddered and said calmly, looking at Yu Xiaoong below. You're here. What's going on? The master's gaze grew hard at this. Yes, I'm here. Are you okay? Bibi Dong's face lit up with a noble and arrogant smile. Above 10,000 people, what's wrong with that? As the ruler of the spirit hall, even the emperors of the two great empires would show me respect. Do you think there's anything wrong with me? The master sighed. Bibi Dong, I know the pain in your heart, Bibi Dong. If you hadn't said it, I'd almost forgotten that name. Please call me Pope, or Your Majesty. I'm no longer the silly Bibi Dong I used to be. Yes, Your Majesty. The master's pupils constricted slightly, a trace of pain flowing from his eyes. What a show. Li Luochen and Yu Xianshang stood on either side of Bibi Dong, exchanging eye contact. Li Luochen, do you know what happened? Yu Xianshang, yes, it's a scandal. But it's not a big deal anymore. Li Luochen, good boy, you have a gossipy heart too. Yu Xianshang, after all, besides practicing, you need to relax. The internal forces actually wanted Sister Dong and me to be a couple. But I really hate spiders, so I'm not interested in Sister Dong. Li Luochen, 6. As expected of you, so you like birds, right? Yu Xianshang, yes. Li Luochen, what do you want from me? We haven't seen each other for 20 years, haven't we? The Pope's voice still sounded so calm. Yu Xiaogang took a deep breath, suppressing the turbulent emotions within him. Even he himself hadn't expected that seeing Bibi Dong again would make him so out of control. But for his original purpose, he forced himself to cheer up. Your Holiness, I have come here to ask for something. Oh, Bibi Dong looked at the master in surprise. You would come to ask me for something? That doesn't seem like your character. It seems that time really can change a person. Tell me, Yu Xiaogang didn't explain. If it were his own business, he would never come to beg the other party for anything, but for the sake of his disciple, who is like a father to him, he had to come here. Your Holiness, I want to know how you overcame the challenge of your twin spirits. Bibi Dong's pupils constricted, and she said calmly, you don't need to know this. What meaning does it have for you? Yu Xiaogang got straight to the point. I have accepted a disciple, and he has been training with me for 7 or 8 years. Fortunately, he possesses the same twin spirits as you. This child is extremely talented, and I hope to train him into a powerful warrior. Why should I help you? To help you train a powerful warrior who will oppose me in the future. The Pope's voice suddenly turned cold. Yu Xiaogang said in a deep voice, of course not. If you are willing to tell me how you did it, I can assure you that this disciple of mine will never oppose the spirit hall for the rest of his life. Yu Xiaogang, let's fool her first. Once Xiao-san grows up, all the promises will be meaningless. Puff, the sudden laughter brought a touch of life to the previously silent Pope's hall. The initiator of the laughter was Li Luochen. Ha 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 ha. Yu Xianshang had been trying to hold back his laughter, but Li Luochen's laugh broke his hold. He had never seen anyone so shameless. Yu Xiaoong then realized there were two people behind Bibi Dong. One was Li Luchen, and the other was the contra that had beaten him last time. It turned out they were both from the spirit hall. Yu Xiaoong finally understood, and his disgust for Bibi Dong deepened, and even more evil thoughts emerged. Yu Xiaoong swore to trick her into learning the twin spirit cultivation method. Once Tang San grew up, he would cripple Bibi Dong's spirit and spirit power, and then ravage her. And that bitch Liu Erlong. Bibi Dong glanced at the two funny guys behind her, then stared at Yu Xiaoong. She sensed the evil thoughts rising in Yu Xiaoong, and her eyes were filled with lustful intent towards her. It was several times more disgusting than the look Jin Zunji had given her, and it made Bibi Dong sick. In an instant, bad memories flashed back, and her mood suddenly turned sour. Because Li Luchen and Yu Xianshang had high spiritual power, they were the first to notice Bibi Dong's change in mood, so they immediately stopped laughing. Otherwise, they'd probably get beaten up later. Yu Xiaoong, I didn't expect you to be so naive. Tang San's father died at the hands of an elder of our spirit hall. The hatred for his father's murder is irreconcilable. How can you actually make such a promise? Do you think I'm easy to fool? Bibi Dong swung her scepter, and a burst of soul power burst out, pinning Yu Xiaoong to the ground. That's right, why does this guy always like to get something for free? Why does he like to get something for nothing? Because he's thick-skinned. When I slapped him back then, he didn't even die. My soul Douluo strength back then only made his face swell. That shows how thick-skinned he is. The latest novel is released on the 69th book bar. Li Luchen and Yu Xianshang spoke in unison, angering Yu Xiaoong's face until it flushed red. Then something struck him. Your Holiness, I report you that Li Luchen is a fallen spirit master. His spirit ring configuration is abnormal and demands a thorough investigation. Yu Xiaoong struggled to stand, but could only kneel on the ground. He remained determined to report Li Luchen. He was confident his judgment was spot on, as that spirit ring configuration was utterly illogical and only a fallen spirit master from the pages of books could exist. Bibi Dong's face darkened. Calling Li Luchen a fallen spirit master? He might as well have called her a fallen spirit master. She was truly a bookworm, completely clueless about the cultivation methods and characteristics of a fallen spirit master. How dare you insult a spirit hall elder? Bibi Dong stood up. Although she hated Li Luchen, he was still her son-in-law, a half-son. If not for Jin Ringsu's sake, then for Cheng Jin, her good grandson. Yu Xiaoong actually wanted to discredit her grandson's father? Bibi Dong concentrated her soul power in her hand and pointed it at Yu Xiaoong's crotch, causing her penis to explode. Bibi Dong, Yu Xiaoong fainted from the pain. As expected, FW is FW, it hadn't taken so long to make her faint. Li Luchen and Yu Xianshang felt a chill in their spines, and looked at Bibi Dong's back with a hint of fear. As expected, an angry woman is the most terrifying. Bibi Dong did this. First, she sensed Yu Xiaoong's lust. That look was all too familiar, and Bibi Dong felt sick. Second, Yu Xiaoong was trying to sow discord within her family, and she couldn't tolerate it. Xianshang, throw him out. Don't let the disgusting fellow get in my way again, Bibi Dong snorted, on the verge of a rage. Okay, Sister Dong. Yu Xianshang lifted Yu Xiaoong up and carried her outside. Also, come find me after the finals. I have something important to discuss. I'm tired today. Go and rest after you're done throwing, okay? Yu Xianshang left quickly. He was afraid that he might get a beating if he stayed any longer, so he left quickly. As for Li Luchen, I'm sorry. It's not that brothers are disloyal, but Bibi Dong is really scary when she's angry. Li Luchen looked at Yu Xianshang, who was fleeing in panic, and shouted in his heart, "You are so disloyal, old Yu, how could you abandon me?" Ahem, that, Mom, can I leave now? Li Luchen said tentatively. Huh? Did I let you go? Bibi Dong stared at Li Luchen with a death stare. No, I'm waiting for the order from my mother. Li Luchen expressed his feelings to the fullest. Bibi Dong sat directly on the Pope's throne, leaning against it, her head propped up with one hand, and said, "Give me a massage of my legs. If I don't do it right, your little anus will be destroyed." Yes, sir. Li Luchen was already sweating profusely. Massaging Bibi Dong's legs was something countless time travelers would have clamored for. But Li Luchen was sweating profusely. This mission was a task that would determine his entire sexual life. But to be honest, Bibi Dong's legs were truly smooth. But would Li Luchen dare to touch them? He was truly moved. Chapter 220, Melee? Surrender? The humble Xiao Li continued to soothe his mother-in-law's anger. Li Luochen, I'm your son-in-law, not your boyfriend. Why do I always have to smooth things over, Bidong? Having a son-in-law is so great. He's always there when I'm told to. After all, a son-in-law is half a son. From what I know, this bastard's mother died when he was young, so I'm his only mother. It's only natural for a son to serve his mother. The two people in the Pope's palace each had their own thoughts. Meanwhile, outside the Pope's palace, Yu Xianshan carried Yu Xiaon, who looked like a dead dog, to the steps, one hand clutching the back of Yu Xiaon's clothes. Suddenly, a foot kicked Yu Xiaon's butt. Your anus is broken, your anus is hurt, but your smile is the most beautiful. Go. Yu Xiaon flew. Yu Xianshan clapped his hands, then flew towards the offering hall. Flying like a stream of light, Yu Xiaon flew into the residential area of Wuhan City. Who knows what happened to this guy's good luck? He landed on the spirit hall's garbage heap, but didn't die, merely fainted. It must be said that Anzi had incredible luck. Even if the butterfly effect caused a drastic change in the future, his luck remained steady. Half a day later, Yu Xiaon, lying on the garbage heap, awoke, his entire body in excruciating pain, especially the loss of his symbol of manhood. Bidong. You deserve to die. Yu Xiaon's impotent rage was of no use. However, the black energy emanating from him grew, and Luo Sanpao's light attribute finally dissipated, transforming into pure darkness. Yu Xiaon's features shifted, becoming sinister. Despite the excruciating pain, Yu Xiaon suffered no other injuries besides the loss of his penis. He could only try to stop the bleeding from his lower body. Then he rose to find Tang San and the others, as he had no idea how long he had been unconscious. Not only had he not learned the cultivation method for his twin spirits, but he had also been humiliated by Bidong and had his third leg crippled. Yu Xiaon swore, for the umpteenth time, that he would make Bidong pay. Even without the training method for twin spirits, Yu Xiaon could make a rough guess. He might be able to find another way. After treating his own injuries, Yu Xiaon stood up and left. Why did he treat them so quickly? Because he had been beaten so many times, he was used to it, and it was a familiar feeling. The afternoon game will start in half an hour. It's said to be a three-way fight. I wonder which team will win. It should be Shrek Academy, a dark horse to win the championship. It may also be the Spirit Hall team continuing to defend the championship. Why don't you two brothers mention the Heaven Dao Royal team, Tisk? Brother, you are joking. The Shrek Academy team has a Soul Emperor and a Soul King, and the Spirit Hall team does the same. A mere Heaven Dao Royal team. The strongest is just a Soul Zong. How can they win? Yeah, maybe I didn't sleep well. I was too tired last night. Just don't die on the girl's belly. Yu Xiaogang overheard the conversation of passers-by and realized that with half an hour left, he needed to go and give some on-site instructions. Perhaps his disciples would win. After all, his disciple still has hidden weapons, so he can't lose. Yu Xiaogang leaned on crutches and found a bathroom to wash up first, then headed towards the Pope's palace again. On the other side, in the Pope's palace, the humble Xiao Li was still massaging. After massaging the legs, Bidong was massaging the jade feet. She was enjoying it very much. She had practiced for a lifetime, and she couldn't enjoy herself. Good son-in-law, keep on massaging. Keep on massaging. Well, mother, the competition will start in half an hour, Li Luochen said bitterly. So soon? Okay, let's go out and take a look. Bidong stood up and stretched her body, put on her luxurious high heels, then tidied her clothes and walked out. Li Luochen finally breathed a sigh of relief. Would the mother-in-law test her son-in-law like this? Which son-in-law could withstand such a test? Li Luochen smelled his hands unconsciously. There was a faint fragrance, belonging to Bidong's body fragrance. Li Luochen quickly shook his head, trying to come to his senses. This is Zuir's mother, my mother-in-law. I can't have any improper thoughts about her. No, no. The latest novels are being released on the 69th Book Forum. Team Shrek, Ma Hongjin, Oscar, Zhu Huqing, Yu Xiangxin, Yang Wu, Ning Rongrong, Yi Lingling. Team Spirit Hall, Hulina, Ziyu, Yan, forced to join, Sun Chuantao, Li Kai, Zhang Ping, Su Yu. Team Xiandao Royal, Tang San, Shimo, Yu Feng, Oslo, Tai Long, Ru Sai. The match, Please wait for the match to begin. Gang suddenly appeared in the Dou royal team's teacher camp, holding the papal order. The referee, the cardinal, was about to reprimand the master for interrupting the match, but stopped when he saw the order. Please state your reasons, Pope Bibidong said calmly. How hasty. I was so angry that I forgot about a papal order in this FW. What should I do with Yu Xianshang? Yu Xianshang of the worship hall. Who's thinking about me? Is it Xiaolingguan? They probably missed me, Yu Xiaogang sneered. My reason is that Dou Royal Academy gave up the first half of the finals and voluntarily entered the losers bracket finals this afternoon. Fortunately, even if he arrived and cut his losses, the Dou Royal team would have been defeated. He was originally stopped by the Dou Royal team's teacher, but he took out the Pope's order and entered smoothly. Bibidong remained calm and said calmly, why? The Grand Master put his hands behind his back and looked up at the Douluo Hall behind the Pope's hall. No reason. I think admitting defeat should be alright. The Grand Master's extremely calm words resounded in front of the Pope's hall like a thunderclap. There was nothing wrong with his words themselves. The problem was the person he was speaking to. By saying this, he was undoubtedly contradicting the Pope. What a pretentious act. Why is a great soul master pretending to be more powerful than a soul Douluo like me, possessing the strength of a super Douluo? Li Yusong complained. The title Douluos around him naturally heard his words and nodded silently. Even title Douluos like them weren't so pretentious. Why would a great soul master who hadn't broken through to soul venerable in decades be so pretentious? Pope Bibidong slowly stood up and nodded to the Grandmaster. You're right. That's your right. Blame me for asking so much, Elder Yu. Yu Xiao's grin stretched almost to his ears. His wisdom was once again on display. Let Shrek Academy and Spirit Hall Academy clash, and the Dou Royal team watch the battle. A win-win. But how dare you contradict me, holding the Pope's order? As Bibidong finished her words, a massive soul force pressed down on Yu Xiaon, sending him into close contact with the earth once again. I'll give you a little punishment. Remember, the Pope's orders are like the Pope himself, and you can't contradict the Pope. Bibidong's domineering words made Ning Fengzi marvel. The Pope is very clever. Li Yusong, my mother-in-law is so cool. Chapter 221 Shrek vs. Dou. Most people were accustomed to Yu Xiaon's shamelessness, but the Pope's sudden intervention this time made everyone present feel extremely relieved. After all, bullying a great spirit master would lose points, but if it were a female Pope, no one would probably say so. Yu Xiaon actually dared to contradict the Pope? She deserved death. After the interlude, the members of the Dou Royal team gradually left the competition field, and only the Spirit Hall Academy team and the Shrek Academy team remained. Your Highness, this Elder Yu must be trying to wear down our two academies so that they can seize the championship. A little clever, but not much. The Shrek Academy team forfeits and enters the losers bracket, Li Yusong said with a smile, his voice reaching the Pope's palace. Yu Xiaon's face darkened upon hearing this. The plan he had been thinking about for a long time was so quickly exposed. Since Elder Li is so inquisitive, I naturally agree. I declare the Spirit Hall Academy team the winner of the three-way melee. The Shrek Academy team and the Dou Royal team enter the team competition, and the winner will participate in tomorrow's finals. Bibidong swung the Pope's scepter, her voice echoing everywhere. The Spirit Hall Academy team immediately left the field, while the 7 members of the Shrek team remained. They didn't need to leave and could just compete. The Dou Royal team had just left the field and entered again. Tang San's face was solemn. The Shrek team was an extremely powerful team. Ma Hongjin and Oscar were his insurmountable mountains. Ma Hongjin's flames, in particular, suppressed his blue-silver grass. Oscar was also able to use Ma Hongjin's abilities. Even Yu Xiaogang, the theoretical master, couldn't understand why a food type could have combat abilities. And now the Shrek Academy team was extremely powerful. Captain, Oscar, level 59. Vice Captain, Ma Hongjin. Team member, Yu Xiangxin, level 62. Team member, Yang Wu, level 49. Team member, Ning Rongrong, level 51. Team member, Zhu Zhuking, level 48. Team member, Yi Lingling, level 48. This is the Shrek team's strongest lineup. Yang Wu was lucky enough to break through to the Soul King level right at the start of the promotion tournament. The Academy's teachers immediately took him to the Star Dou Great Forest to hunt souls. Others thought the Shrek Academy team only had one Soul Emperor and one Soul King, but in reality, there were one Soul Emperor and two Soul Kings. Furthermore, Yang Wu, the strongest talent of the younger generation of the Puyi clan, had accumulated considerable experience and was ready to burst forth. He had previously kept a low profile, but now was the time to strike. The Puyi clan already had the potential to break through to title Douluo, clan leader Yang Wudi and junior clan leader Yang Pajin. Now, they can add Yang Wu to their roster. Li Luochen's strongest lineup is built on a powerful offensive ultimate attack. Against such a powerful attack, all defense becomes meaningless. Yang Wu's offensive power is strong enough that no one short of Soul Sage status can withstand his attack. Yu Xiangxin is even more well-rounded, possessing attack, speed, and defense. Without the divine level spirit of the Seraph, the blue lightning Tyrannosaurus might be the most hexagonal spirit in Dao Yi. Aside from its lack of support abilities, it's practically flawless. Zhu's Huking may seem insignificant right now, but she needs to be invisible. As an assassin, that's how she delivers the ultimate blow. Ninrongrong and Yi Lingling, despite their support-type abilities, mistake this for a flaw. They possess several mirror image intestines crafted from Yu Xiangxin's blood. Dare to target them? Blue Lightning Dragon, a warning. As for Oscar and Ma Hongjin, they're the obvious trump cards, and neither of their spirit bones has been used yet. Li Luochen has confidence in them. Aside from Hulina's troubles, the others are just minor Karami. As for the Xiandao royal team, the pressure is immense. Tang San, the strongest, had reached a peak spirit power of level 46 and was about to reach level 47. This rapid improvement was thanks to the 6th rank Green Ganoderma, but Tang San was mostly focused on healing. As for the other team members, Shimo's spirit power was level 43, Osro, Yu Feng, and Tai Long were at level 42, and Rusiyu was at level 41. Compared to Shrek Academy, they were completely inferior. Besides Tang San, the others were rather timid about the Shrek team. After all, they had lost to the Shrek team in their first match, when they weren't their strongest force, so victory was a long shot. Aside from Tang San, the entire team lacked fighting spirit. Tang San knew his teammates weren't strong, so he needed to give it a try. He had just come up with an idea. Dark purple-blue silver grass appeared in Tang San's right hand, and 8 spider legs, resembling spears, suddenly appeared behind him. These were Tang San's external spirit bones, the 8 spider lance. Oh, interesting, Li Luochen was somewhat surprised to see Tang San's 8 spider lance. After all, his original 8 spider lance was in Zhu's Huking's possession. Even if she'd stolen it, he still had it? What a stroke of luck. The latest novel is now available on the 69th book forum. Zhu's Huking of the Shrek team was stunned upon seeing Tang San's 8 spider lance. She then thought of her own 8 spider lance, though hers had shifted from a spider leg to a dark spear. Interesting, Tang San, you also possess an external spirit bone, Oscar sneered. A blade suddenly emerged from his right hand, the external spirit bone white jade arm sword. If that's the case, then I'll show off my skills too. Ma Hongjin also laughed, and a red gold eagle claw emerged from his right hand. The external spirit bone, the blazing eagle claw. Born from a 45,000-year-old fiery cloud-piercing eagle. Zhu's Huking saw the two brothers in the front row revealing their external spirit bones. Should she reveal her own as well? But as a qualified assassin, she should keep her presence as invisible as possible. As Zhu's Huking hesitated, she glanced at Li Luochen in the Pope's palace. Li Luochen also noticed her looking at him and nodded. After all, he loved this kind of pretentious and embarrassing plot. After more than a decade of hard training, couldn't he have a bit of fun? With Li Luochen's approval, Zhu's Huking revealed her external spirit bones as well. Suddenly, 8 pitch-black spears appeared behind her. Darkness, depth, and eerie were the hallmarks of these pitch-black spears. 3 external spirit bones. The Soul Masters present were astonished. The value of external spirit bones rivaled that of a 100,000-year-old spirit bone. Because external spirit bones could grow with a Soul Master. A spirit master possessing an external spirit bone could theoretically cultivate it to the 100,000-year level. At this point, Tang San had originally used his 8 spider lance to gain an advantage and boost morale, but morale was dwindling. The opponent possessed 3 external spirit bones. Tang San felt devastated. How could he possibly fight 1 spirit emperor and 2 spirit kings, unless he used hidden weapons? But would hidden weapons be effective against an opponent of this level? If he used them, the title Douluo on the stage might notice. What would he do then? Chapter 222 Shrek vs. Xiandao 2. Tang San was in a dilemma. He couldn't advance or retreat. He had to hold off Ma Hongjin and Oscar alone, allowing the other team members to deal with the two opposing supports. This might improve his chances of victory. Even if he couldn't win, he'd inflict significant damage on the Shrek team, forcing them to fail in tomorrow's finals. This was Tang San's thinking. He coveted the 3 spirit bones, but the opponent was too strong. He simply couldn't do anything. His teammates weren't up to the task. Shimo and Shimo, can you two hold off the soul-breaking spear Spirit King? I'll hold off Ma Hongjin and Oscar. Tai Long, hold off Yu Xiangxin. Yu Feng, hold off the Netherworld Spirit Cat. Oslo, take care of the support. Sitai, support me first, with all your strength. Then, once Oslo reaches you, support him directly, understood? X6, Tang San immediately wrapped Shimo with blue silver grass. Tai Long, using the meteor hammer technique, smashed into him. Ma Hongjin and Oscar were naturally prepared. They instantly spread their phoenix wings and took to the air. 5th soul skill, Phoenix Meteor Shower, X2, a massive shower of flaming meteors enveloped the Heaven Dao royal team. Tang San felt he had forgotten such a large-scale attack was underway. He could only use his vast soul power to create a barrier of blue-silver grass to help the backline withstand the damage, but how much could his blue-silver grass, without fire immunity, block? Tang San's idea was simple, a little resistance would be enough for Yu Feng. Oslo moved. As for Shimo, and Tai Long, they immediately charged forward with their full amplification soul skills. They were thick-skinned and could withstand it anyway. The Black Tortoise brothers went straight for Yang Wu, while Tai Long faced Yu Xiangxin. Tang San, however, immediately stopped Oscar and Ma Hongjin, Yu Feng soaring through the air, searching for Zhu Xiuqing, preparing to intercept her. Oslo, seeing his opportunity, sped around at full speed, heading straight for Ningrongrong and Yilingling. Agility-type attacks are inherently fast, and the arena is small. It only took Oslo a few seconds to reach Yilingling and Ningrongrong. A single agility-type Soul Master could easily dispatch 2 support-type Soul Masters. Tang San, seeing that his plan was largely accomplished, felt a surge of elation. He hadn't expected Shrek Academy to let their guard down. As long as they completed the post-cutting mission and then immediately became one with the 7, Tang San doubted Ma Hongjin and Oscar could withstand the weapon spirit's true form. Uzia Gang, watching this from the stands, involuntarily grinned. Then, he glanced at Li Lujin, who was pretending to be smug in the Pope's Hall. Li Lujin, on the other hand, was relaxing. Aside from Tang San, who needed to exert some extra energy, everyone else was just a small karami. Yu Xiangxin alone was enough to wipe them out. On the field, Oslo was only 7 steps away from Ningrongrong and Yilingling. Soul Master level agility type attacks weren't nearly as fast as they could be, so Yilingling and Ningrongrong could see clearly. Ruidisk, Attack Aura, Speed Aura, Soul Power Aura, Bloom, 3 auxiliary beams descended upon Oslo, accelerating his speed even further. Second soul skill, Ghost Leopard Claw. Oslo unleashed his second soul skill, striking the 2 support-type soul masters with both hands. He was secretly delighted at his success. Ningrongrong and Yilingling, however, couldn't wait any longer. They suddenly broke into a smile that was somewhat chilling. The 2 beautiful girls suddenly grew taller. A dazzling blue light suddenly ignited from their brows, then instantly spread, descending from there throughout their bodies. Lines of blue-purple electric currents erupted like tiny snakes, swirling around their bodies, and a blue lightning symbol appeared on their foreheads. Then, their right arms suddenly expanded into dragon arms, becoming immensely thicker, extending over half a foot in length and covered in blue-purple scales. The 2 women's delicate hands instantly transformed into dragon claws, covered in the same scales. Each joint grew significantly thicker. However, as women, they didn't transform into unicorn arms like Yu Xiangxin's, but rather into distinctly sculpted forms. Dragonization. Dragon Claws, X2, the 2 women, possessed by the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex spirit, unleashed their first spirit ability, Thunder Dragon Claw, to seize Oslo's attack. Their grip was so powerful that Oslo's hand could not move. Everyone in the audience was stunned, including the title Douluo in the Pope's Hall. Ning Fengzi and Jian Daoluo jumped to their feet. They had been panicking at the sight of their precious Rongrong being attacked. How could their little princess suddenly seize control of her opponent? And possessed by the blue lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex? Luomian was completely stunned. Aren't these two support types? Why do they have blue lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex spirits? And they're transformed into dragons? What's going on? Bibi Dong glanced at Li Lujin, who had a faint smile on his face, and suddenly had a sinister thought. It's over. This kid really couldn't hold it in. Uzai Gang lost his composure. Impossible, this is impossible. This isn't even a martial spirit. My theory doesn't have such a thing. This is sorcery, humph. How could a top-tier food-type combat spirit master like you, a plagiarist, understand this? Mirror shadow beasts are extremely difficult to hunt, so spirit masters with these spirit rings are extremely rare, or almost non-existent. Therefore, there aren't many records of mirror shadow beasts. It's only known that the spirit abilities they bestow are mostly clones. Oscar has undoubtedly created a new legend. On the field, Ning Rongrong looked at Oslo with a playful expression. The latest novels are released first on the 6-9 book bar. Little leopard, do you think I'm your aunt so easy to bully? Do you think we're support types and therefore ineffective? Naive. Sister Lingling, take care of him. Yes, second soul skill, Thunderbolt. X2 The countless serpentine lightning coiled around the two women's bodies simultaneously amplified, transforming into countless lightning bolts that shot out in all directions. The accompanying lightning force could paralyze the opponent. Oslo was immediately stunned by the shock. First soul skill, Thunder Dragon Claw. Ning Rongrong followed up with another strike. Condensing Thunder Dragon Claws, she struck the opponent, but it schemed through the air 20 meters before dissipating, distorting the air violently and erupting with a heart-pounding crackling sound. Oslo was sent flying off the stage, his previously undefeated balance of victory shattering. Damn it. Sidai. Give it to me. Tang San turned to call for his teammates' assistance, but instead saw a horrifying scene. Ru Sidai, who had been standing behind Tang San, had vanished. In her place, Zhu Huking stood there, still holding the unconscious Yufeng. Tang San's body was immediately covered in sweat. Was Zhu Huking so powerful? She'd killed Yufeng in an instant? Although Yufeng was a flying agility attack type, his defense was extremely low. Hit by the nether spider god slash, amplified by Zhu Huking's fourth spirit ability, he was instantly defeated. Zhu Huking snorted coldly and threw Yufeng out of the arena. Tang San was struggling to think when, suddenly, he was attacked on both cheeks. Don't be distracted. Oscar and Ma Hongjin launched a powerful punch from both sides, each hitting Tang San's face with a heavy punch, making his head buzz. The force was just right, shocking without damaging his brain. In a mere moment, the Shyandao Royal Team was defeated. Chapter 223 Shyandao Royal Team out. Wow, finally I don't have to hide my strength anymore. I've been pent up for so long. Brother Shiangson, leave that gorilla to me. Ning Rongrong rushed out, her voice blaring. The little witch was practically going insane. She'd practiced so hard, but couldn't use it. It was killing her. Now was the time to let out some steam. Ning Rongrong's hands transformed into dragons, charging towards Yu Shiangson's battlefield. Yu Shiangson, naturally having heard Ning Rongrong's shouting, smiled, and suddenly had an idea. Yu Shiangson went straight for the man. She locked Tai Long up. Rongrong, hammer him. Yu Shiangson's actions and words delighted the little witch. Ning Rongrong's sandbag-sized fists, transformed into dragon claws, rained down blows on Tai Long. Seeing the situation was almost over, Yu Shiangson unlocked her body and escaped. Fourth soul skill, Blue Lightning Dragon Speed. Ning Rongrong's right hand suddenly condensed into a small blue-purple dragon, coiling around her arm. Ning Rongrong launched a punch, and a small, blue-purple dragon instantly expanded, lashing Tai Long with thunder and sending him flying across the field. The Spirit Hall Academy team members suddenly sounded a warning: don't provoke the two support class characters in tomorrow's match against Shrek Academy. Their attacks were too terrifying. The Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Soul Sect, even facing a Soul King, wouldn't be afraid. Their small bodies couldn't withstand the swiftness of the Blue Lightning Dragon. With a scream, Tai Long was gone, leaving the Shyandao Royal Team one man short. Elsewhere, on Yang Wu's side, wielding the soul-breaking spear, he entered a subtle state, his entire form sharp as a spear. 4th soul skill, soul. 5th soul skill, break. The soul-breaking spear in Yang Wu's hand was completely tinted black, increasing its destructive power. Then, a circle of black flames suddenly rose around him, increasing the spear's attack power. Yang Wu's entire demeanor was razor-sharp. Like a sword unsheathed, he waited only for the moment to strike the final blow. Yang Wu was at his peak form, a state unique to him, a powerful aura he had discovered during his sparring sessions with Li Luochen. To this end, Li Luochen even demonstrated the 6 combat styles to Yang Wu, hoping he could develop his own fearless spearmanship from them. Li Luochen's view of the Puyi clan was this: Yang Wu's limit was roughly equivalent to that of an ordinary title Douluo, around level 91 or 2, with combat power comparable to that of a level 95, employing a strategy of trading damage for damage. Yang Pajin was younger and more powerful, possessing the potential to reach Super Douluo status, but level 96 was a hurdle for him. Reaching a breakthrough through enlightenment would be difficult unless you were gifted with several high-aged spirit bones. Li Luochen, however, felt Yang Wu possessed the potential to reach his limit. Having grasped the spear's essence in his early 20s, he had already forged the rudiments of his own fearless spearmanship. Li Luochen was delighted to cultivate such a talent. He even used his killing god domain and 6 combat styles to teach Yang Wu moves, hoping he could hone his spear prowess. Soul break. Spear out like a dragon, Yang Wu thrust his spear forward, carrying an immense momentum. Even Shimo and Shimo didn't dare to be careless, their 4th spirit rings flickering. 4th spirit skill, eternal control. The 2 Black Tortoise brothers immediately deployed full defense. After all, the Yang family's soul-breaking spear, which focused on a single attribute, couldn't afford to be careless. 9 treasures are famous. 1. Strength. 2. Speed. 3. Soul. 3 supporting rays of light enveloped Yang Wu. Ninrongrong exited the blue lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex possession state, summoned the 9 treasures glazed tower, and began amplifying it. 4th spirit skill, 9 hearts soul rising. Yi Lingling also used her 4th spirit skill to amplify it. After consuming the 9th rank Immortal Lotus, the 9-hearted begonia possessed no flaws. Not only did her original healing abilities increase significantly, but she also gained support abilities, the ability to amplify the spirit power of her teammates, greatly increasing Yi Lingling's supporting capabilities. Working with Ninrongrong of the 9 Treasures Glazed Pagoda, the 2 supporting players effortlessly defeated enemies of higher levels. Break, Yang Wu roared, shattering the Black Tortoise brothers' spirit defenses and sending them flying backwards. Seizing the opportunity, Yu Xiangxin and Zhu Zhuqing delivered a follow-up blow, eliminating the 2 brothers instantly. Now, only Tang San remained on the field. Having just endured the combined blows of Oscar and Ma Hongjin, his head was buzzing. As he struggled to his feet, he shook his head and surveyed his surroundings, only to discover that all his teammates had been eliminated. Tang San's heart sank. If he had been able to directly use the 7-in-1 fusion technique, would the outcome have been different? Was it his own commanding error, his unfamiliarity with the opponent's abilities, his ignorance of the opposing support system's potential for such explosive power? His entire team collapsed. The blue-silver grass's control power was completely useless. The opposing team was equipped with top-tier spirits, and a mere useless spirit, the blue-silver grass? Could they really win? Tang San unleashed the clear sky hammer in his left hand. He gazed at the jet-black hammer, which emanated a powerful aura. If he had cultivated the clear sky hammer first, the situation would have been different. With the world's #1 weapon spirit, he would have been able to compete with the opponent. Tang San was now mired in self-doubt, blaming his failure entirely on the blue-silver grass spirit. If it had been the clear sky hammer, he wouldn't have lost so badly. Clear sky hammer? What's the point of summoning a clear sky hammer without a spirit ring? Tang San, reveal all your hidden cards. Ma Hongjin folded his arms, glaring at Tang San with disdain. The aura of the Bird King was fully unleashed. No, 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 no. I won't lose. Tang San's inner demons were now surging, and he had begun to disregard all else. He immediately unleashed this huge divine crossbow and the mother and child soul-chasing gallbladder, unleashing them at the Shrek team. Since Tang San was missing 3 fingers, he fired this huge divine crossbow directly from his left middle finger, while the mother and child soul-chasing gallbladder was simply thrown, requiring less demanding technique. Meanwhile, Li Luochen, firmly seated on the throne, was enraged by Tang San's utter despair. The latest novel is now available on the 69th book bar. How dare you! A massive soul force pressed down on Tang San, crushing his bones. But it was too late, the hidden weapon had already been launched. Brother Ao. Wrong. Sister Lingling, yes. Phoenix meteor shower. Oscar and Ma Hongjin quickly reached a consensus. Oscar took the lead in unleashing the Phoenix meteor shower to ward off the hidden weapons, while Ma Hongjin gathered his strength. Ninrongrong and Yilingling's immediate reaction upon hearing Ma Hongjin's call was to amplify him. 9 treasures have names. 1 is strength, 2 is speed, 3 is soul, and 4 is control, 4th soul skill, 9 hearts soul ascension, 6th soul skill. Phoenix piercing cloud strike. Flame burning explosion of the left arm bone skill, Phoenix explosion strike. Earth King's left leg bone skill, magma cracking earth rush. With the full support of the 2 support systems, Ma Hongjin's attack power surpassed that of an ordinary soul sage. The blazing phoenix flames instantly incinerated the hidden weapons and toxins fired by Tang San. All poisonous mists were nothing compared to the pure phoenix flames. After Ma Hongjin finished, Oscar also breathed a sigh of relief. After all, Tang San's biggest problem was these so-called hidden weapons, which were extremely vicious and ruthless. This was what they had been guarding against. Boom! Li Luochen descended from the sky. His eyes turned blood red, and with one hand he lifted the prone Tang San and grabbed his neck. Your Holiness, I'm complaining about him for taking advantage of. Get lost, Li Luochen roared, shocking Yu's Ion so hard that she fainted from all 7 orifices. Li Luochen stared at Tang San, his entire being radiating murderous aura, pure and unadulterated. Bibi Dong's eyes froze. Had the usually humble son-in-law gone off like this? It seemed Tang San had crossed a red line. Tang San, you're using weapons outside the rules of the competition? It seems His Holiness Tyrant hasn't taught you enough. But you dare touch my people. Today I'll destroy your meridians and your spirit, and see how you cultivate. Li Luochen concentrated his soul power in his hand, and with one hand he grasped Tang San's neck. Applying soul power, the blue-silver grass in Tang San's right hand emerged. Li Luochen flicked his finger, and the blue-silver grass began to shatter. Tang San was in excruciating pain, speechless, staring at Li Luochen. Stop! A massive clear sky hammer smashed into the arena. Boom! Li Luochen pointed at the blue-silver grass. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 224 Tang Zhao. Boom! A massive clear sky hammer crashed down onto the playing field, instantly unseating the titled Douluo atop the Pope's palace. Even Bibi Dong was enraged. Since she was watching the match, Bibi Dong was completely relaxed, so she didn't release her mental energy or sense the clear sky hammer in advance. At Bibi Dong's level, unless someone attacked her, she could sense it in advance. Otherwise, even her limit Douluo wouldn't be able to detect an attack from someone else, especially one in a relaxed state. The plume of smoke rising from the hammer's fall revealed a towering figure standing in the sky above the Pope's palace, cradling the gravely injured Tang San. This figure was none other than the dormant Tang Zhao, who had come to protect his nephew and was reluctant to act rashly. After all, this was Spirit Hall headquarters, and it would deepen the conflict between the Clear Sky sect and Spirit Hall. Despite Tang Chen's agreement with Jin Daoliu, Tang Zhao would avoid taking action if possible. But Tang San was nearly crippled, so he had to intervene. After all, a genius with twin spirits couldn't be destroyed. This was their Clear Sky sect's hope, and a crucial force in defeating the Spirit Hall. On the competition field in front of the Pope's palace, the smoke dissipated, revealing the Shrek team members in defensive stances. However, no one was harmed, a massive barrier protected them. Li Luochen, clad in blood-red battle armor, held his spirit, the sky-lifting divine dragon pillar, against the ground. The massive barrier emanated from Li Luochen. Li Luochen had been planning to cripple Tang San, but the clear sky hammer arrived at the perfect time. Its indiscriminate, wide-area attack, and with Shrek students still on the field, Li Luochen had no choice but to abandon Tang San and save his own students. Tang Zhao. The Pope's palace will not tolerate your presumption, Bibi Dong was furious. How dare this cowardly Clear Sky sect appear in the Pope's palace? And dare to intervene during the Spirit Master competition? Ning Fengzi and Jian Daoluo glared at Tang Xiao. If Li Luochen hadn't protected Ning Rongrong with Tang Xiao's attack, Ning Rongrong would have surely died given her level of cultivation. Yu Luomian was also in a rage. His grandson would have been crippled at best by that attack. Tang Xiao was trying to uproot them. Tang Xiao's attack immediately angered all three factions, putting the Clear Sky sect in danger. The Pope's Palace? What a Pope's Palace? You bullied my sect, you killed my brothers, and now you're trying to harm my nephew. Spirit Hall. Is this how you behave? Tang Xiao was furious, confronting Bibi Dong. Oh, as expected of the Clear Sky sect, they're so overbearing. Tang San cheated and tried to harm my students. How do you explain that? Flanders glared at Tang Xiao from the sky. This was the umpteenth time the Clear Sky sect had bullied Shrek. Now he was a titled Daoluo, possessing a fully equipped 100,000-year spirit ring and spirit bones, and yet he didn't step forward? He was being unfair to his students. Hell, what happens to others is none of my business. I only care about the affairs of the Clear Sky sect, Tang Xiao snorted coldly. Spirit rings appeared on his body, and the Clear Sky hammer was in his hand. 2 yellow, 2 purple, and 5 black. The 9th spirit ring was black with a hint of red, a true spirit ring over 90,000 years old. How domineering. It seems strength is the only way to win. Flender was also furious. Hurricane Owl possessed him, and spirit rings appeared, 2 yellow, 2 purple, 4 black, and 1 red. The scarlet 100,000-year spirit ring was dazzling. A 100,000-year spirit ring, Tang Xiao was surprised. He had thought he was an ordinary titled Daoluo, but he didn't expect him to possess a 100,000-year spirit ring. This was a bit tricky. Even with his level 96 strength, defeating him would be difficult. Soon, a long sword streaked across the sky, and a figure appeared beside Flender. Sword Dao Chenzin. Senior Chenzin, why did you attack? The 3 upper sects are of the same blood, Tang Xiao was puzzled. Why would a 7 treasures glazed tile sex protector Daoluo attack here? HMPH. Tang Xiao, that hammer strike you just made nearly kill our sect's little princess, and you still dare to tell me about the 3 upper sects being of the same blood? You must stay here today. Chenzin's sword intent reached its peak, and the 7 killing sword was shrouded in a powerful sword energy. 2 yellow, 2 purple, and 5 black, 9 spirit rings emerged, bursting out with peak level 96 soul power. Well said. What the hell is this about being of the same blood? We're of the same blood when we're in trouble, but you didn't even consider that when you attacked? You Haoshan sect are really shameless. A bolt of lightning suddenly appeared, transforming into a sturdy figure. It was Yu Luomian. Yu Luomian also wanted to attack. Yu Xianheng was crippled, and Yu Xiangxin was the only hope for the future of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family. Anyone who attacked him would pay the price, even if it meant his own life. The Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex possessed him, and 9 spirit rings emerged, 2 yellow, 2 purple, 4 black, and 1 red, as 95-level spirit power burst forth. Tang Xiao now faced 3 titled Daoluo. Sword Daoluo Chenzin was a veteran super Daoluo, having reached level 96 years ago. Flender and Yu Luomian were newly promoted titled Daoluo, but both possessed 100,000-year spirit rings. This presented a formidable situation. Tang Xiao felt he hadn't thought carefully before attacking. He had clearly seen disciples from the 3 upper sects below, yet he still acted rashly. However, to save Tang San, he had to act. It could have saved him and killed Li Luochen. Unfortunately, he failed, and it also pushed the other 2 of the 3 upper sects into opposition. Damn it. If Grandpa were still alive, I wouldn't have allowed you to be so presumptuous. Tang Xiao was now in a dilemma. After all, if he really challenged them, he would undoubtedly lose. Furthermore, the Spirit Hall hadn't yet made a move, and the Pope and Zhu Wu Daoluo were watching. Damn it. A roar. A sword flash suddenly slashed out. Tang Xiao's body instinctively used the clear sky hammer to block the blow. Then, a storm and thunderstorms lashed out at him. 4 titled Daoluo were battling above the Pope's palace. Bibi Dong continued to sit and watch, completely unmotivated. A mere level 96 super Daoluo? He couldn't even block a single blow from her. She wanted to see her son-in-law take action. After all, this brat was truly furious, and it could also be an opportunity to attack the Clear Sky sect. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. She was just thinking of a reason to attack the Clear Sky sect, and here it was. The Clear Sky sect must be destroyed. His presence would threaten the unity of the Spirit Hall. On the field, Li Yusong removed his Blood armor and looked at the Shrek team. The latest novel is now available on the 6th-9th book bar. No one's hurt, are they? No. X7 Li Yusong breathed a sigh of relief. As long as you're not hurt, that's good. Okay, let's see how Director Li avenges you. You dare touch my students. You've already met your end. Li Yusong, his murderous intent surging, looked up at the sky, his dragon wings spread, and he soared upwards. The Shrek team watched with anticipation. Soon, Ningfengzi and Shrek Academy teachers Qin Ming, Mo Yu, and Liu Erlong descended to protect their students. In the sky. Your Majesty Sword Douluo, Dean, Senior Yu, you all step back. I'll take care of this guy, Li Yusong shouted, ordering the 3 titled Douluos to retreat. Flender and Yu Luomian knew Li Yusong's strength, but Sword Douluo wasn't quite so sure. Little friend Li, Tangzio has some real strength. He's no ordinary Super Douluo. Are you confident? Of course, Li Yusong said calmly. Tangzio, however, was a bit disheveled, his clothes torn and his breathing a bit unstable. Facing 3 powerful titled Douluos simultaneously was a bit of a struggle. Tang San had been placed in Tangzio's spirit guide, a device used to store living things. He wouldn't awaken for the time being, allowing Tangzio to fight without hesitation. Junior. You dare to challenge me? Do you think the clear sky hammer in my hand is vegetarian? Tangzio looked at his intended target, amused by the prospect of a duel. Your brother said the same thing. But he's dead. Hanging at the gate of Spirit City. Oh, and it was me who killed Tang Hao, Li Yusong said coldly. Even those above the Soul Saint level in Spirit City heard. What? Impossible? My second brother is invincible. How could he die at the hands of a brat? Are you kidding me? Tangzio was furious. He couldn't believe his brother, so powerful than himself, could die at the hands of a brat. Haha, I knew you wouldn't believe it. Look at this, this is your Clear Sky Sect's inherited spirit bone. You should recognize it. I dug it out of his body myself. Li Yusong's hand held an extra spirit bone, emitting a powerful aura. Tangzio understood instantly, and his face flushed red. The titled Douluo present were also shocked. It turned out that the elder who had killed Haoshan Douluo Tang Hao was elderly. The former youngest titled Douluo on the continent had become a stepping stone? Chen's sighed, this boy is truly terrifying. Yu Luomian was extremely glad that he had chosen the right person. Xiangxin would surely do well with him. I want your life. Haoshan's true form, Tangzio Hongwen was furious and attacked with all his strength. Chapter 225 Zhanzai Ocean. Haoshan's true form, the clear sky hammer in Tangzio's hand instantly grew immense and smashed down on Li Yusong. Go to hell, Tangzio's eyes flashed crimson, his mind completely lost. Titan Giant Ape Right Arm Soul Bone Skill. Titan Sky Cannon. Just as the massive hammer was about to strike Li Yusong unleashed a right straight punch. A cannon of air burst from his right arm, blasting towards the clear sky hammer. The Titan Sky Cannon harnessed gravity to instantly compress the air into a terrifying energy source, imbuing it with the full force of the Titan Giant Ape. Boom! Tangzio was instantly repelled by the violent blow, his eyes filled with shock and anger. Your strength is far inferior to your brothers. The Clear Sky Twins? Nothing special. Li Yusong remained motionless, his eyes gleaming with disdain, his words filled with mockery. How dare you? Ninth soul skill, hammer shakes heaven and earth. Tangzio, in his spirit form, unleashed his ninth soul skill with all his might. Fueled by his level 96 soul power, this strike was enough to instantly kill a common titled Douluo. At this point, Tangzio's might had reached level 97. The proud war soul hammer, the mighty Haoshan sect as worthy of being the world's #1 sect, the world's #1 weapon spirit, Chrysanthemum Douluo Yu Guan, watching Tangzio's attack from the Pope's Hall, sighed with emotion. Tangzio had once been a mere ant before him, but now he was far superior. It was truly awe-inspiring. Yes, how many years has it been since Tangzio broke through to title Douluo? He's already reached level 96. The two of us have been stuck at level 95 for nearly a decade. Your Holiness, how about we just kill Tangzio right here? The ghostly figure said sinisterly. As the Grand Elder of the Elder Hall and the Spirit Hall's Criminal Law Elder, a secondary position, he needed to eliminate the Spirit Hall's enemies. No need. Trust elderly. Even Tang Hao died at his hands. A mere Tangzio? To be honest, although Elder Li's spirit power level is only level 89, his strength has reached a terrifying level 98. If he unleashes his full power, Tang Xiao will surely die. But he probably doesn't have that in mind. Perhaps he has other intentions. Meanwhile, Pope Bibidong sat high on the throne, observing the cat and mouse game with a calm expression. 8th spirit skill, Titanfall. The sky-bearing divine dragon pillar materialized in Li Luoqin's hand, and 8 bizarre spirit rings emerged, revealing a most astonishing configuration of 4 black and 4 red. The 8th, 100,000-year spirit ring, shimmered, and behind Li Luoqin, the phantom of a titan ape appeared. Countless gigantic stones suddenly condensed around the titan ape's phantom. Li Luoqin hurled the sky-bearing divine dragon pillar, which grew countless times larger and attracted countless stones from the sky, condensing into a massive stone pillar. The massive stone pillar smashed down towards the clear sky hammer. Boom! Today, the spirit hall was ablaze with fireworks, as if it were a holiday. At that moment, before the Pope's hall, all the spirit hall's title Douluo appeared, including several of the worshippers. The worshippers represented Azure Luan Douluo, Light Feather Douluo, Thousand Strength Douluo, Demon Subduing Douluo, Poison Douluo, Tyrant Douluo, and Wind God Douluo. The elders represented Ghost Douluo, Chrysanthemum Douluo, Demon Bear Douluo, Ghost Leopard Douluo, Snake Spear Douluo, Thorny Porpoise Douluo, and Sea Turtle Douluo. Also present were Pope Bibidong, Sword Douluo, the protector of the 7 treasures glazed tile sect, and Jilei Douluo, the current leader of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex sect, and Wind Eagle Douluo, the dean of Shrek Academy. At this moment, 90% of the spirit hall's title Douluo had gathered, watching this cat and mouse show. Tang Xiao had exchanged 2 moves with Li Luoqin, and he knew Li Luoqin's strength well enough to know he was no match. This was no ordinary soul Douluo. How could a soul Douluo possess such a powerful spirit ring configuration? This was too outrageous, so Tang Xiao was already planning a retreat. After all, the longer he delayed, the more dangerous he would be. Tang Xiao, I've given you 2 moves. It's my turn to attack. Take it, Wind and Fire Fusion. Fire Dance Whirlwind. Li Luoqin's first and second black spirit rings merged, forming a single, deep black spirit ring. However, Li Luoqin swung the sky-supporting divine dragon pillar in a whirlwind of blazing flames towards Tang Xiao. Its speed was so fast that Tang Xiao had no way to dodge. Hey Ocean Protect! Sensing something was amiss, Tang Xiao immediately unleashed his clear sky hammer defensive spirit ability, struggling to block Li Luoqin's attack. Hiss! He's actually managed to fuse the rings to this extent? Generating immense power through the superposition of elements? What a great idea. Normally, blunt weapons like sticks should all have power-type spirit rings attached to them, but this kid actually attached elemental spirit rings? An interesting idea. But multiple attributes should conflict, right? How did he manage to avoid them? The latest novel is being released on the Liujiu 9 book bar. Gold medal lecturer Zhu Daoluo is online, commenting on Li Luoqin's unique skills. He does have elemental spirit rings, but not exclusively. He possesses power as well. From his first spirit ring onward, he possesses extremely rare spirit rings: Wind Azure Dragon, Blazing Fire Dragon, Blue Wave Dragon, Tyrannosaurus Rex, Golden Earth Dragon King, and Dark Demon Evil God Tiger. I don't know about his 7th spirit ring, but his 8th is the Titan Giant Ape. Despite possessing multiple elements, the spirit beasts he hunts are never lacking in power. They are either extremely powerful sub-dragons, dragons with true dragon bloodlines, or dragons with golden bloodlines. The Dark Demon Evil God Tiger and the Titan Giant Ape are ancient species, never lacking in strength. So don't be fooled by this brat's elemental abilities, his power will only grow. The average clear sky hammer weighs only 10,000 to 20,000 kilograms at the title Douluo level. Li Luoqin's staff, on the other hand, weighs over 100,000 kilograms. Strength is what he possesses the most. Hearing Bibidong's comments, the title Douluos were all shocked, especially Sword Douluo, who was even more astonished. He hadn't expected this man to be so well hidden. To have grown to this point without a sound, his mind is truly terrifying. On the sky battlefield, what's wrong with Tang Xiao? Is he weak? His strength isn't up to par, his accuracy is lacking, and how come his stamina isn't up to par either? Is this the level of skill of the leader of the world's #1 sect? Ridiculous, Li Luoqin taunted him repeatedly. Victory in battle requires not only strength but also verbal skill. Taunting the opponent during battle might have surprising results. Of course, it could also cause the opponent to explode, but Li Luochen didn't believe Tang Xiao would. Could he even explode his spirit rings? What a joke. You brat, how dare you insult the Clear Sky sect like this? I'll make you pay. Tang Xiao's demeanor suddenly changed. The Clear Sky hammer hovered around him, and 9 spirit rings materialized. Tang Xiao's entire spirit power erupted, and that wasn't the end. His 9 spirit rings, starting with the century-old one, began to shatter, all the way down to the 8th ring. Explosion? Really an explosion? Li Luochen was also a little surprised. Look carefully. This is the true Haoshan ultimate skill. The Great Sumeru Hammer. All 8 rings explode. Tang Xiao was already bleeding from all 7 orifices. Forcefully using the rings to explode had inflicted immense damage. But there was no other way now. Before crossing the river, strike the middle, Li Luochen's 1st and 3rd spirit rings merged, mingling with the thunder element of the 6th spirit ring. Wind, thunder, and water, the 3 elements made Li Luochen's attacks incredibly fast. Tang Xiao was still gathering power. If not now, when? Who would be so stubborn as to take the Great Sumeru Hammer head-on? Li Luochen's speed had reached such an incredible speed that even a titled Douluo couldn't see him clearly. Tang Xiao hadn't yet finished gathering power, and his pupils constricted. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.